maximum, but he scored the first boundary.
Yeah, and Renegades just sort of finding their straps here. As we said, it's their first innings up here in this heat. Quite a slow first over, and unlike last night's game, this is in the heat of the day. So, yeah, a few nervous moments in that first over. Just Brown getting back to ball before striking that last one.
He comes again. Good solid contact again. Out there through mid-wicket. No run. And Joshua Brown it is, I say. Called him Jonathan Brown. The score on the board there after 2, none for 9. The Renegades. Berthasell conceding 8 in his first over. Not really too happy with that, I wouldn't expect. And first boundary coming.
Mentioned it could be an interesting choice from the Stars to elect to bowl first, Dom. We've seen in both last night's game and in also the Australia versus South Africa T20s earlier this week. The team that batted first ended up winning the game relatively convincingly as well. So I wonder if there might be a change in trend here just with the day game.
Yes, that time difference could well make a difference. And Lazark back into the action here. Peake, he's gone forward as well. Squirted that one away, the left-hander. Picks up a single. So he's dealing in singles at the moment, is Peake. Not looking quite as comfortable as Brown out there. And Lazark's bowled a really good line and length so far, Will.
Yeah, very tidy bowling so far. Just conceded the 1 run from his 7 balls so far. And if they can restrict the Renegades' scoring power, they'll be pretty happy.
Well, Brown certainly indicated some intent. Oh, he went to go again there too. But, gee, and Lazark, similar to his first over, Will, just probing that line. Probably, you might say it's a 5th stump line. And Brown, he wafted at it for a moment, pulled back. So he's really got them thinking, has Anne Lazark. Goes again, big does Brown. That's a beautiful shot over through cover. And his second boundary. The Renegades hit the boundary for the second time in this innings. So Anne Lazark, his figures were looking pretty good up until that moment. None for 1. He's conceded now his first boundary. And Brown certainly looking to attack. Oh, he's gone again. A little bit untidy on that occasion. Flicked it up again over cover. Looked like it came off a leading edge, but he had enough power on it. And some decent fielding down there from the Stars in the form of Sharma.
Just went beyond the fielders there and escapes danger. This takes the Renegades score up now for 16 runs.
He's clearly the designated hitter, Will. He's the one who's taken the job here, whereas Peake has been just comfortable to dab the singles when he's needed to. So Brown 14 off 12. He went to go again. That's a beautiful shot through mid-wicket there. The chase is on. Fast outfield here at DXC Arena, and that is going to go all the way. Well done to Brown. He moves up now. 18 from 13 balls, and some of his shots haven't exactly been pure, Will, but at this stage of the game, you're looking for the runs on the board, and they've got exactly that. 20 now off 2.5, and Lazark will be trying to get out of this over without conceding another boundary.
Yeah, absolutely, and Brown, 18 off 13, it's probably about 18 off 7. I think he had dot balls for his first 5 as well, so really starting to find his straps now.
Yeah, you're right, a single off the first over only. Went again, just backward a square. A little bit of work for the fielders there, and in fact, that's gone all the way. Gee, I said the outfield was fast. I didn't realise it was quite that fast. That raced away to the boundary down there. Wasn't exactly the most convincing shot there from Brown behind square, but wow. Back through to the boundary, and I said Andersdark needed to get out of the over without another boundary. Did not succeed. So he was none for one off one. He's now none for 16 off two. More importantly, the Renegades, none for 24 off three. So their run rate already, Will, is very healthy.
Yeah, and you wonder if there's a voice inside Captain Sam Harper's head saying, should have gone for that bat with the with the other victors so far this week.
Yep. May well. He's made a good start, and again, even more impressive it because it was none for one after the first over. So 23 runs now coming in 2 overs. And a change has been made with Douglas Warren coming to bowl here for the Renegades. Oh, sorry, I should say for the Stars. So the introduction of spin by Sam Harper. So, Will, you're wondering what was going through his head. Well, he's made the change now. The Pakistan Shaheens deployed spin bowling last night with devastating effect against Bangladesh. Bangladesh were rocketing away. The spin bowlers came in and all of a sudden it dried up completely. Let's see what can happen here. A little bit of a false start there from Warren as he just settles himself. Peak with the challenge in front of him. The big swing and missed everything. Perhaps very fortunate on that occasion, Peak. So that's a great start from Warren. Exactly the sort of delivery that his skipper would have been looking for. The left-hander on strike. He's hit that away through point. Nice loud call between the batsmen then too. They just scamper through for that single. Nothing silly needed at this stage. Interesting to see how Brown approaches the spinner now.
Yeah, obviously, skipper Sam Harper changing up the bowling, just trying to, I guess, change that momentum and that pace that the batters had started to get. But Brown now with his first opportunity against the spin. See how he approaches this ball coming up.
He's going around the wicket too, Warren, so he's changed his approach also. Oh, it's missed everything. Bat, wickets, wicket keeper, and it's going to slide all the way down for a boundary. He's given that as 4 runs, has he? Certainly singled. He's given that off the bat. I did not pick that up at all, Will, that there was a touch on that. So 4 runs to Brown. He's certainly displayed the intent. He's getting maximum value. He goes again. Good call from Peak. No run, no need to take the risk. Brown sitting on 26 off 16. He's made a bright start. Nice shot there. Just going through square. And they take the single on offer. So just ticking it over nicely. Always good to see, Will, when you know the boundaries may not be coming so regularly. You've just got to make sure you keep turning the strike over.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of it would be a bit of a head game now and just the two batsmen working together, making sure that particularly Brown doesn't get ahead of himself and start swinging at things that aren't there. As you heard, that ball before last, good call from Peak just to quell the run. Finds himself on strike now. Time for him to start getting some reward for effort as well.
The left armour over the wicket. Oh, gone the reverse. Didn't work.
Not quite what I was thinking, Dom, but he's had a crack.
He has had a crack. That was the end of the over 2 there. So 4 overs down. And the Renegades a healthy score here of none for 30. In particular, Joshua Brown, 27 of 17. And Warren, that's a good call from Sam Harper there, Will, because Warren got out of that one, 6 runs only conceded. And I like the way he changed it up too. He was around the wicket, over the wicket. He really put some thought into, okay, I'm facing a left-hander, I'm facing a right-hander. How am I going to approach this? And then put the cricket ball in some really good positions.
Yeah, it looked a little bit shaky, and that 4 that came from that over as well, as you said, didn't quite realise that it hit the bat. Thought it might have been 4 off the pads. It could have been potentially even less than that. So in the end, not a bad change from the Stars.
Hamish McKenzie now coming in to bowl for the Stars here from the airport end, and Sam Harper deciding to go with the slow bowling again. And the signal here of the power play from the central umpire. So let's see what Hamish McKenzie's got. Sam Harper really having to make some decisions here. Went with pace initially, then changed to spin. He's going to continue that on. Put away there by Brown. Straight to the fielder at long off. That's fielded nicely. So again, the man with the intent is Brown. Only the single on that occasion. Peaks look to get a little bit more aggressive, Will, but nothing's quite come off for him yet. Don't know whether he needs to do that, actually, given how Brown's going.
Yeah, I think you're right. You'd almost just focus on building a partnership here and not focusing on those single runs. Or individual runs, I should say. Just working as a partnership and trying to build them together.
Given what he just did with that shot there, Will, he's not listening to you. That's for sure.
Maybe he's the one getting a little bit nervous rather than his counterpart
maybe
down the other end.
Yeah, maybe. Bit of a swing and a miss again there. So this is how he started against the previous spinner as well. Swing and a miss, and then he dabbed it away for a single. I think McKenzie's got an opportunity here. Tucked away nicely there by the left-hander. On the leg side. And again, same story as the previous over. Swing and a miss for the first, single on the second ball. Brown back on strike. Still just rotating through nicely here, the Renegades. I think the teammates back in the sheds would be pretty happy with the way that they're going early stages of this game.
Yeah, especially with some aircon in there as well, Dom.
That's exactly right. 32 degrees, you can keep that for the moment. Oh, he's gone aerial, has Brown. That's a terrific shot. Just lofted that up over cover. Fields them in there. Well collected and back, and even though it was a good-looking shot, only conceded the single. Good work from the outrider. So McKenzie, like his teammate Warren before him, tidy over so far.
Now Peak maybe just calming himself down a little bit and getting into the groove.
Yeah, a little bit of a flatter, faster delivery there from McKenzie. Peak just returning that to him straight back down the pitch. So one more delivery to go here, and McKenzie sitting on only 3 runs conceded. Goes again. Oh. And this time, Peak out through mid-wicket has scored himself his first boundary. More importantly, a boundary to close out that over. So 5 overs down here, the Renegades, none for 37. And McKenzie, just that last delivery sees him concede 7 for his first over of this match. But 37 off 5, current run rate 7.4 for the Renegades. I think they'd be pretty happy with that after 5. Haven't lost a wicket, and that really is the key at the moment.
And Peak maybe with the boundary, his first of the match off that last ball of the over, just settles him a little bit. We saw him maybe being a little bit brash with a few of those attempts, but now he's getting some runs on the board as well, Dom.
Yeah, he is. You know, Brown to take strike again, and Sam Harper, I think, quite sensibly here, going again with the spin option. So the left armour in Warren back into the attack. He's just cramped Brown up there too, can only dab that through silly mid-on. The spin is certainly working here, so Harper content to continue. Another nice delivery, crashed away here through cover, but only the single.
Arian Sharma with the ball in hand on bowling duties at the moment.
Too. Thanks for that correction. I thought it was Warren with the way that he came in.
But 3 different spinners in a row, Dom,
yeah,
is the tactic that the Stars have employed at the moment.
Here's another left-hander, which is what threw me.
And potentially what they're hoping is going to throw the Renegades batsman.
Pete just having a little bit of a look. Of the two, he looks the most nervous. Now he's tucked that one away nicely. Back of square. And just jogs through for the single. So Sharma now to come up against Brown for the first time. And Brown's really been the one who's looked to make the running here. You can see the field move out to... That's their expectation, is that Brown will go for it. Oh, that will be called a wide. First extra for the afternoon, Will. They've been pretty tight so far.
Yeah, very tight. There was that 1-4 which ended up coming off Brown's bat, but otherwise very tight with the ball.
Oh, that was loose. He got a little bit of a tickle on that too, and ball running away here to the boundary, and it's going to make it too. Gee, it is very quick here this afternoon. Hot day. Fast outfield, and Brown just another little tickle on the ball. 30 from 21. In fact, 34 from 22 balls, and the Renegades sitting at 44 runs in this, the 6th over. Sharma in his first, he's conceded 7. Ooh. Oh, he's gone for that, and they're going to be calling that leg buys. That is the call. They scamper through for the single. So Brown's riding his luck at the moment. He's riding it pretty well. Sharma gets an opportunity here to go against Peak. Oh, Peak's thrashed that one away through square and all the way to the boundary. Convincing shot too. He hasn't always looked like that through his innings, but that one certainly was.
Now he definitely finding some confidence. A few little pops before, probably just helping him with some precision, find the ball with his bat, and then able to open up there. A couple of handy strikes from him this over.
It's easy to be critical in this game, Will. You know, you look at Peak and he started slowly and probably hasn't looked convincing. He's now hit 2 boundaries, and what I love about T20 cricket, he's now 13 off 13. So he hasn't lost anything at all from the approach that he's adopted. Brown, of course, 34 off 23, but Peak really working into this game, and the Renegades would be really pleased with that.
Yeah, definitely found some pace there. Looks like it'll be John O'Merlo with ball in hand here. Something a little bit different. Listed as number 5 in the batting lineup. Coming in for a bowl now.
So I keep saying Jonathan. Joshua Brown on strike here. Cracked that one away through cover. Fielded out there by the outrider there for the Renegades. For the Stars, I should say. My apologies for Anne Lazark, who bowled very well early on. And again, a nice shot there from Brown, but only conceding the single. Sam Harper and his bowler working together here and certainly making some changes in the field. Trying to build some pressure here are the Stars. The Renegades 50 coming up with that single. First ball of this, the 7th over. Nice shot from Peak, beautifully fielded. They scamper through for the single.
And that 50 has sort of crept up on us a little bit, Dom, particularly after that slow start. Just 9 runs after those first 2 overs, and that first over just the 1. But since then, they've had 15 in the third over, 12 in that sixth, and they've crept up to 51 runs as they sit now.
And this is with Peak only going at a run a ball. Brown, crack.
Oh,
one bounce through the covers and another boundary. Beautiful shot from Brown. Really opened the shoulders on that occasion, and Merlot, that's his third ball. He's been put away. Probably the best shot of the match so far.
Yeah, good crack coming off the bat there as well. Love that sound of the willow.
Bang, he goes again. Opportunity here. And that is taken at mid-on. Diving down low.
Blake McDonald takes the catch off Merlot, who gets the first wicket of the match.
Well, well done to Merlot and well done to Sam Harper. He was brave, took the opportunity to make the change. And so the first wicket is Brown, who falls at 39 off 25. The Renegades now 1 for 55. And Merlot perhaps a little bit lucky there. He tossed up the last one, been cracked through the covers for 4. And I was thinking to myself, gee, Sam Harper may be thinking this is not quite how I wanted this to work, returning to a pace bowler. It's yielded the first wicket, so a little bit of bravery there from the captain, Sam Harper, picks up the first wicket of Brown, who was looking very dangerous.
Yeah, and we know he's a big hitter. He's probably going to be a focal point for most bowling attacks in this top end series. I think he's scored one of, if not the fastest century ever in Big Bash history a few years ago while playing for the Strikers. And I saw a game under the roof, or it was the open roof at Docklands earlier this year, Dom, where against his old side he absolutely smashed a century. So yeah, he can definitely hit them big, and Stars be happy. They don't have to see much more of him, at least with bat in hand today.
No, they don't. He was certainly the danger man. New batsman out in the middle, Harry Dixon. I'm always interested in the mindset of the batsman. You lose a wicket like that, often they fall in clumps. And just how the new batsman to the crease approaches their game. Will Peak now take on the role of the aggressor, given that he's the batsman that's more set? Or will it be the new man out in the middle in Dixon?
Harry Dixon, another left-hander as well. So there'll be 2 left-handers out there at the moment, Dom, which will be interesting to see how the bowling changes up for that.
Well, Merlot's decided to make no change whatsoever. That one there just flicked through square. They jogged through for the single. Merlot certainly didn't change his approach. Just ringing a few changes in the field here now that Peak's back on strike. It's a nice shot through point. Fielded nicely. And Oliver Peak just takes the single. So continuing on here at his pace, a runner ball. 15 off 15, and Merlot manages to close out that over, which I thought potentially could have gotten a little bit ugly, but he's managed to close it out beautifully there. Will 1 for 8 off his first. Sam Harper will be rapt that they've managed to make the breakthrough.
Yeah, it looks a little bit shaky at first, Merlot, and perhaps that's just us assuming he's going to be a batsman rather than a bowler, but to end with 1 for 8, you'd be pretty happy with that, and not their most expensive over by a long way, and potentially hoping to just chop up the momentum from the Renegades. Though in saying that, they don't look too shaky since then. Dixon 1 from 1 so far, and Peak now returned to 15 off 15.
Back to Warren. That's a nice shot there from Peak, and he's just slashed that away through cover, and a no ball called on the spinner in Warren Will. So the first free hit of the match. So Warren concedes a boundary and a free hit. So Peak, who's been looking to be more aggressive, hasn't quite pulled it off on each occasion, hits a boundary and now has an opportunity to go again.
Could be a costly over this one already.
He's just tried to do a little bit too much there. It's interesting how often batsmen can try and get a bit funky with the free hits, rather than perhaps just playing a cricket shot and making the most of it.
No such thing as a free lunch, Dom.
Indeed. Just tucks that one away nicely, quickly in, but plays safely through for the single. Well done from Peake. I like that approach. Scored his boundary, had another crack, missed, go through for the single. Keep turning that strike over. Dixon needs to do the same now. Can hear the chatter from the Stars players in the outfield. Good positive talk. Warren, a real effort ball there, and just flicked onto the leg side there by Dixon and just jogs through for a single. I like his approach there. He's not trying to do anything too fancy initially, just get Peake back on strike, the man who's relatively set here.
Similar to that last partnership, just trying to keep each other balanced and levels and work together as a pair.
Gone for it again, has Peake again through the leg side, just backward of square. They've gone for the single and then a really loud call not to go for the second. So good pressure coming from the field, but equally good communication between the batting pair.
Yeah,
That's
really
all continuing to tick along. Sorry, Will, 1 for 65 there in the middle of this 8th over here.
Really strong call there, Dom, it was from Dixon in the end, but maybe they are just trying to work out who do we want on strike after each ball.
He's tossed that one up and it's got the result as well. Dixon trying to carve that through the covers and Warren picks up a wicket. He's been good so far, Warren, and just a little bit of icing there. Sees him now at 1 for 14 and Dixon, his first expansive shot of the afternoon, and he's cracked it away straight to the fielder. So again, Sam Harper ringing those changes, Will. He's tried his spin, it's worked. He's tried the pace bowler to bring back or bring in Merlot, got himself a wicket, and now the change back to spin has yielded a wicket as well.
Yeah, not quite halfway through this innings, but already we've seen a lot of changes from the Stars in their bowling attack. I think the verdict's still out as to whether it's working. 2 for 65 is a pretty good score to start this one, particularly in the heat. But I think it might be more a point of how much they can sustain it. It's a good start, but this weather's going to play its role later in the day.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So one more ball to come from Warren in this, his second over. It's been steady. And the big hitting captain in Will Sutherland into the attack. We know him from his BBL performance as well. He's a very good player, very good striker of the ball. Just pushes that one. Well fielded there at cover. So just denying Will Sutherland the strike then for the beginning of the next over. Seen him turn matches on his own when required, and he's come in at the perfect time here. Plenty of overs still to go from a batting perspective if you want to build a score. The Renegades sitting on 2 for 65 after 8, so they've built a platform there, Will. Opportunity here to progress it depending on how these two go.
Yeah, Sutherland with a lot of experience behind him, not just the captain of this Renegades Academy side, but also the Renegades BBL side. You'd think he's going to go out there and just try and steady the ship a little bit and, again, just do what those before him have done so far today.
Mackenzie into the attack. Geez, he lofted that one up. Full toss, I think it might have been in the end. It's just punched away there through mid-on. And the fielder there in Merlot collecting that and tossing it back. Just the single. Now the man that they would dearly love to get out for nothing whatsoever, or at least cheaply, is the man now on strike in Will Sutherland. What's Mackenzie got for him? Tosses about that one up and wide, and that's called.
Got umpires today, Ahmed Khan and Rob Stewart. Ahmed Khan calling there.
Just dab that one away there through backward point. No run. So Mackenzie just looking to build a little bit of pressure here. They want a faster one, push through the cover region. Only the one. Just a little bit of a lull here. But Will Sutherland will be relieved, as all batsmen are, Will, to get off the mark.
Steady start for him.
Flatter delivery there from Mackenzie. It's belted away through square, and they've managed to save the boundary too. Well done. Real commitment down there. 2 runs conceded, but it could have been double that. So terrific effort down there by Sharma. And Mackenzie will be very pleased too to see that commitment in the outfield by his teammate. Peek through point, the direct hit. Will Sutherland in his crease. Well done by the Stars. Will, it's good intensity. They're on the money.
Yeah, it's just slowed up a little bit these last 2 overs. Still conceding, but not like they were once Brown got going earlier in the innings.
Run rate's still reasonable. Around about 8. Sam Harper taking time with his field. Another one tossed up there. On the leg side, going through for the second, put pressure on the field, and that's good pressure, good running there by the batters. Came through for the second, did it easily in the end. Nice way to finish off that, the 9th over. 2 for 72, the Renegades. Just an acknowledgement too of our 2025 Top End Series partners. Top End T20 Series major partner, Tourism NT, the Northern Territory Government, Northern Territory Major Events Company, Bet365, the Airport Development Group, DXC Technology, Thrifty, Kookaburra, Territory Sports Medicine, and Gatorade. Great opportunity here in the top end to see so many great teams, so many wonderful players coming here and playing this level of cricket, coming here to enjoy what many down south and in some other parts of the world would think quite funny that this is our winter. Warren in again, pushed away nicely there through mid-on by Sutherland, and a quick call there by Peake. I think it might have been not to come back for the second. Bit of danger there if they had. Stars have been sharp in the field. Peacock through square. Fielder again in hard off the boundary. Again impressive. That intent's good, and they keep that one down to the single. So Pete moves along 27 off 24. Sutherland 2 off 4. A little bit calmer, but still pretty steady here. But that fielding's been impressive as we work our way up to a little drinks break they're going to have because of the heat here. Sutherland now, again, just pushing through mid-on. And again, the single. So takes his score up to 3.
Interesting battle here, Dom. It sort of feels like both sides are waiting for the other to slip up first. No one's really going for it too much. Neither of the batsmen so far. Can't really break through that run rate, getting it above 8.
Oh, it's a good delivery by Warren. Really cramped him up, squared him up. The ball pushed there through mid-off and returned to the bowler. No run conceded, so this over, it's just been singles or dot balls, and that's a rarity. He floated that one up beautifully. Wonderful flight there from Warren. Squared out through point. They come back for the second. Good cricket all round there. Warren brave. The 2 runs on the board. Again, he's tightened Peak up with that. He just manages to square it out on the left, on the leg side. Warren going and doing his own fielding, but they've managed to scamper through for 2 runs, which is great running again from Peak and Sutherland. I suppose when your captain's out there, Will, you want to make sure that you're doing everything right, don't you? So the 10 over mark here at DXC Arena in this, the 3rd match of our top End T20 series. The Renegades 2 for 79. So almost getting to that 8 runs and over mark. 7.9 they sit at. They're just having a drinks break here, and sensibly so, Will. It is a very warm afternoon here at DXC, around 32 degrees or thereabouts. Humidity around 30%. Might not sound like much, but if you're standing out there in the middle, it's very warm, particularly with helmets on.
Yeah, absolutely. And 2 for 79, these sorts of conditions, you think both teams would be relatively happy with that. Maybe more so the Stars, just because they know that they can sort of sustain their bowling, whereas the batters, it might come down a little bit more to if we don't keep that run rate up or at least burst out a bit. I mean, if they can get a few more runs on the board, it'll let them sort of be able to settle later in the innings. But either way, 2 for 79, they'd be happy with that, you'd think.
Yeah,
10 overs
and
through.
I suppose if you do the mathematics on that, let's put it around figures for my mathematics. 80, you double that, 160. Perhaps later on, because they've got wickets in hand too. They've only conceded the 2 wickets, so they might be looking for 170, 180 plus. And I would think that, particularly on a warm afternoon like it is here at DXC, they would absolutely take that. And for the Stars to then to have to come out and chase, and Will, you talked about before, each match that we've seen so far, whether it was the 2 international games, Australia, South Africa, or the first game that we saw last night at TIO Stadium, the team that's batted first has won, and in the end won quite convincingly.
Yeah, very convincingly. I think in both those internationals, not only was it convincing, but I think individual batsmen sort of got on some pretty big runs as well. Last night looked like it was a bit more of an even spread between those Pakistan, those top order batsmen. But again, I think they won by sort of 60 runs or so, Dom.
Yep, they did. The Bangladeshi A team put on great pressure early on, but yes, Pakistan through their spinners again, and that's what we've seen here this afternoon too. Brown was getting away from the Stars early on. They brought the spinners on, quietened things down, ended up getting Brown's wicket, ended up getting Dixon's wicket, although that was, I think, to Merlot, who was the pace bowler. But the change came with the introduction of spin bowling. So no doubt Captain Sam Harper will be taking note of that. And as you've commented on a number of times, Will, they've worked their way through 3 spinners. It hasn't just been 1 or 2 and having a sort of consistent, you'll just take it from here on. He's changed it up by introducing Sharma as well.
Yeah, they've had sort of 3 spinners in a row. So they went Warren, then Mackenzie, and then Sharma, and then Merlot, the medium pacer, came on, and that's where they got their wicket from. You wonder if maybe that's just played a little bit on the batsman's mind. And then straight after Merlot, the next over, Warren's come back in, another spinner, and took the second wicket. I think it was the 5th ball of that over. But nonetheless, they're just keeping things fresh and making sure that the batsmen are always on their toes and not really able to settle with the ball.
So drinks break is over. And speaking of spin, Will, Hamish Mackenzie being reintroduced to the attack, and Will Sutherland to face him.
Conceded 7 on both of his overs so far.
A little bit of flight there, straight back down the ground from Sutherland, and the fielder at mid-off just coming in. That is Jonathan Merlot. So a single to start this second half of the Renegades innings. That does bring their score up to 80. Getting a little bit of movement in the field here, and Harper not afraid to throw his field around. Good use of the feet there from Peake. Whipped that ball away through square. They come back for the second. Bit of a shy at the stumps. So Peake had to get out of the way from the throw, but he's come back through for 2. And certainly looks, Will, as though he is the one who's going to try and play a little bit more aggressively at this stage. Again, I think that's really sensible because we know how damaging Will Sutherland can be in the latter stages of these T20 matches. I think it's quite sensible they'll give him the time to get himself set. Bang goes Peake straight down the ground. Merlot in the action again there at mid-on. They come through for the single. Steady play by Peake, just really building his innings nicely here. Will Sutherland literally straight down the pitch back to the bowler, and that's beautifully fielded by Mackenzie. Just stuck the one hand out.
Yeah, Southern been well contained so far by the Stars. Feel like maybe now he's getting a little bit antsy and wanting to get some runs on the board, cause some damage.
Yes, there it is, lashing out a little bit there. And the player at extra cover, just cutting that off quickly. I suspect that Will Sutherland will be patient for only so long. Ken Harper chatting away there, the captain, chatting away to his bowler and making changes in the field. Keeping Will Sutherland on his toes. Oh, call there from Will Sutherland was a good one. Straight back to the bowler. Didn't take it cleanly, but the fielding was good enough to keep Will Sutherland in his crease. So well done to the Stars. Again, that's a really tidy over there from Mackenzie. And to keep somebody like Will Sutherland stuck down one end is no mean feat. They did it impressively in that over.
Yeah, only a few runs conceded for that over. Still just waiting for clarification on that. But very tidy over. Maybe that drinks break has come at the right time for the Stars. And just as you thought the Gades were maybe finding their groove, just a little bit slower that over. As you said, Southern can only stay, and you suspect he's only going to stay patient for so long. Wonder just when you'll see him try and burst that down wall.
Another spinner, Will, Campbell Kellaway this time. So Sam Harper, certainly the spin is his go-to just at the minute. Kellaway coming into the attack. And looking to put his stamp on this match. That's a nice ball to start with. They scamper through for the signal as the ball was just squeezed out there on the leg side. I don't think I've seen so many left arm spinners in the one team, Will, because Campbell Kellaway is another one.
You'd think the right-handed, who would have thought the right hand would be the point of difference, Tom?
No, that's right.
Maybe that's where they'll slip them up and catch them doing the wrong thing. In comes Kellaway now again.
Nice looking shot there from Will Sutherland into the covers, but again, nicely fielded for the Stars there by Blake McDonald, keeping Will Sutherland on strike. Again, he squares him up, manages to push that one through mid-off. They jog through for the single.
Supposedly 6 left-handeds in their squad, so that's the entire squad, not just the team out there today, Dom, but it's a lot.
I think quite a few of them are playing today and they're spinners. Kellaway started well here. Peake tried to get that one away, came off the pad, signalled a wide. The umpire was very quick to signal that. We haven't seen too many extras in this match so far. Left-hander to left-hander. Peake now, cracking that one away through mid-wicket. Return is a good one. Keeps that down to the single again. So the Stars, they are on top here. The Renegades not doing what they would like to be, I don't think. So will we start to see some real movement from Will Sutherland? He'll want to get this run rate moving, but that's got its own dangers. Cracks that one away through point. And the fielder from the deep comes in and returns that, and Wilswar again only the single conceded.
Yeah, the Stars just starting to get on top a little bit here with their bowling. Really stingy with the ball here and not quite seeing it yet, but you just wonder how the patience of the Renegades batters is going to go. Peake, he's obviously found his groove a little bit earlier, slowing off now, but Sutherland never really got going. Not yet anyway.
Not yet anyway. Bit of a mid-pitch chat there too between the batters, so that was a nice tidy delivery again from Kellaway, right in the block hole, and Peake was able to get that one away on the leg side through mid-wicket. I sound like a broken record now, yet again only conceding the single. So a terrific first up over there from Kellaway. Certainly haven't let the Renegades get away. And Sam Harper and his bowling unit are doing the job here. Maybe the heat's having a bit more of an effect than what we may have thought. Bit of a conference between the batsmen there, and at some point here, Will, they are going to have to really make a decision to start pushing this. Returning to pace here is Sam Harper. Max Berthasell now with ball in hand. He was the go-to man at the beginning of the innings. He goes to him again now. Peake on strike to the left armour, and he didn't know too much about that one at all. Good pace, good bounce. No run conceded. They've certainly got them tied up here. So Berthasell now on his return. That's a really good first up delivery. Follows up with a second one. Manages to squeeze that one out on the leg side. They're going to come back for the second. Good running. Good return to the bowler there too. So the fielding intent was good. The running between the wickets was good, and it's needed too. They've got to try and pick up the runs here, the Renegades. Otherwise, the second half of this innings is just going to disappear. Good delivery. Whipped away, and that will be 6 is the call. Catcher on the boundary didn't really seem to pick it up all that clearly. And a 6 is recorded. So Peake scores the first boundary in what feels like an age. I think that was Sharma down there. The man attempting to go for the catch and couldn't take it.
Maybe that'll be the strike that gets them going, Dom.
Yes, well, they certainly need to get going, that is for sure. A little bit of a wayward delivery there from Berthasell, but Peake unable to put that one away, just squeezed it to point, and again, no run. So dot ball's golden here for Sam Harper's team. And Berthasell, even though he's conceded that 6, the bowling's still been pretty tight. Cracked away. Through point by Peake, but only the single. Struggling to put runs on the board here.
Still going to get some confirmation on the score, Don McCormack. It's a few technical difficulties, but you'd think they're getting pretty close to the triple figure mark in the 13th over here at DXC Arena. Slowed up a little bit the last couple of overs, but that's 6, the first 6 of the matches we saw just a few balls ago.
Oh, that's a beautiful delivery there by Berthasell. The left armour, a little bit wider. Will Sutherland had a bit of a waft at it. No contact. And yet another dot ball. So even though the first 6 of the match was conceded, 2 dot balls and some singles throughout that over. So Sam Harper returning to pace worked for him again, because the Renegades need much more than their output thus far. And it will be back to spin again for this over. Kellaway back into the attack with Peake on strike. Sutherland doesn't look hurried or rushed or under pressure as such out there, so fascinated to see how he takes the latter stages of this second half of the Renegades innings. At Peake now, going for his shots here. Don't know what that hit. Don't think it was too much. They've scampered through for the single as comes off the pad. So the leg by is the call. Another run added to the Renegades total. But Will, not too convincing again facing the spinners here by the Renegade batters.
That 6 a few overs ago, maybe a little bit of a blemish, mind you, it did come off the paceman, but Sam Harper potentially just looking to keep him at bay at the moment.
Will Sutherland trying to carve that one away through point. Wayward throw as they ran through for a single. They're going to come back for a second on the misfield. Direct hit. And Peake is in. That's great recovery from the Stars from the initial misfield, but conceded a run that they probably shouldn't have, Will.
Yeah, like it was just the one there. Peake, actually he was in, oh sorry, just the 2 there. Peake lucky he got into his creases. That was a very good recovery from the field. As you said, directed on those wickets.
Yeah, Jonathan Merlo, I think that was fielding in the outfield again. He's been pretty good with his throws. This time Sutherland goes for it, carves that away through cover again. It's a go-to area. Peake calls him through for the second. And they make it easily on this occasion. So back-to-back twos. So Sutherland moves up to 10 from 15. And Peake has just been so steady right from the word go. It's moved up to 46 from 38 deliveries. And the Renegades 2 for 103 midway in the 14th over. Sutherland up and out. She's very fortunate that that didn't go to the fieldsman. It's going to run away quickly down through the fly slip region for a boundary. So Sutherland's first 4 for the afternoon. And that's certainly getting the scoring moving, and that they need. So Sutherland on to 14. And the Renegades on to 106. Midway through this 14th over here. Here we were talking about them reaching 160, Will. That seems some way off at the moment. That score 2 for 107. Nice delivery again from Kellaway. Just keeps Will Sutherland trapped in his crease. Push that onto the offside, but again, fielders in perfect position. That's another good over from Kellaway. Been impressed with him. Yet another left armour. Finishes his 2 overs at none for 14. So consistent with the rest of his team, going at roughly 7s and 8s. Sutherland after that over 14 from 17 and Peake 46 from 38 deliveries. So only 6 overs to go now, Will. So they are in a dangerous time here, the Renegades.
Yeah, they probably need to start thinking about how many wickets we lose. If it's going to give us maybe 10, 15, 20 extra more runs. Or they want to make sure that they do have their, I guess, more reliable batsmen in to face those balls later in the innings. But 2 for 107. Probably not where they thought they would be about 6 overs ago.
No, you're exactly right.
Conceded, I think, just 2 runs in that 11th over, and it's really slowed up since then.
Sam Harper is getting his field positions right here. And Lazark back into the attack. So going with pace from this airport end. Oh, high up and under. Comes off the top of the bat. And underneath it, Merlot. He's proven himself to be good in the field. And at mid-on, he takes a nice catch. And there it is, Will, trying to push that scoring along. Peake sitting on 46. Skies 1. Caught and out. They lose their 3rd wicket. Not really what they wanted. He is the set batsman. But it's do or die, really. You have to make the running, and he's tried to do that. It hasn't worked on this occasion. The Stars take another wicket. 3 for 107, first ball of the 15th over.
Yeah, Peake 46 to 39. He really was looking like that settled batsman in the lineup. Sutherland yet to really get on board. 14 off 17. He's sort of slowly gotten there. I think just a couple of boundaries. And maybe Renegades have had that chat. Let's just try and swing and see what we can get rather than halting. It did feel a little bit stale out there. The Stars bowling tactic seemed to be working and just stemming the bleeding a little bit there. Come at a cost to the Renegades, but maybe it's just a little bit of a refresher, a revitalisation that they need. Coming in now, it looks like it's Jai Lemire.
Jai Lemire comes in at number 5. And Oliver Peake out for a well-made 46. I really like the way that he started off. Brown was the aggressor early. And he played second fiddle and played it really well. And then began to motor when he needed to. But like his captain at the other end, they've both found it very, very difficult against the spinners thus far this afternoon. Interesting that it is the pace bowler that then reaps the rewards, Will. So Anne Lazark, beginning of his 3rd. Oh, that's a well-placed delivery. The ball punched out there through to mid-wicket. No run. The spinners are the ones who have put the clamps on, and the fast bowlers are the ones who have reaped the rewards and taken some of the wickets.
And keep in mind, Jonathan Merlo as well, making his impact one of those wickets, and he also played a part in the other one with a decent catch just a few balls ago, and also some pretty good fielding throughout the innings too.
Absolutely. And Lazark running into a nice breeze that's just whipped up here at DXC Arena. Hammers that one in, and Lemire's called through by his captain in Sutherland for a single. He just dabbed that one out onto the offside. So he's off the mark, which he'll be happy about. Sutherland to take strike. Can he start doing some damage here? His team absolutely needs him to do that. 3 for 108 at the midpoint of this, the 15th over. Would not want to leave it too long, but Will Sutherland's a very experienced campaigner. He knows what he's doing. He knows what this situation is. Fascinated to see what his plan is. Oh, he goes with that. Look at that. It's a beautiful shot. Just picks that one up. 6 over square. There's the plan. What a magnificent shot from Will Sutherland. We know that he's got the gears. We know that he's got the levers. And he demonstrated that on that occasion. The second 6 of the innings, and I'm not surprised that it comes off the bat of Will Sutherland. All of a sudden moves to 20 from 18. Lemire turned over the strike as he needs to, being the new batsman. And the Renegades now 3 for 114, fourth ball of this, the 15th over.
I think that might be the first time Sutherland's gotten his run rate above 1 run per ball as well. Obviously 20 off 18 now. So maybe that's a sign he's a bit more comfortable and ready to do some damage.
And Lazark now, he knows he's under attack. He's just pulled him away through mid-wicket. Second boundary off the bat of Will Sutherland. Well, I said I was fascinated to understand what his plan was. I think we're starting to see it unfold right in front of us now. Will Sutherland, 10 runs off the last 2 balls, and Lazark knows that he's got a challenge in front of him now. He's got 1 more ball left to go in his over, and this his 3rd over. How will he look to close this out? 10 runs from the last 2 balls, 11 runs conceded. He has taken a wicket though. Sutherland on the move. Just pops that one off the hips out through square, run through for the first, and decide not to come back for the second. That's a good decision. Good fielding out there for the Stars by Thomas Rogers. But Will Sutherland, 11 runs off the last 3 balls and takes the strike as well for the next over, yes, doesn't he?
I was about to say, I don't think it's a mistake at all just to take that easy single rather than risk that second one. And momentum is really getting in his bat now, and all of a sudden they're back up to just under that 8 runs per over mark, which means that 160, which is a fair score, probably you'd say in these conditions. I think we're going to see a big differential in the scores from the day games to the night games in this top end series, Dom.
Yep.
Just with the heat, but 160 seems like a very fair score, and suddenly back on track for that.
Yeah, I think that's a good call as we see Max Berthasell back into the attack for the Stars. Just love watching the gears of these experienced batsmen, and I was saying exactly that about Will Sutherland only an over or so ago, that he's a very experienced campaigner. Great player for the Renegades. He's played for Australia. He knows what to do in these situations. Now sitting on 25 from 20. Goes with the big hit again. Up through backward point, and this is just going to bounce away again for another boundary to Will Sutherland. So his last 4 balls, Will, 6, 4, 1, 4. And that starting the motor. That
one as well maybe doesn't look as impressive, but that's kept him on strike as well. So an important couple of balls for him and for the Gades.
Yep, and Lemire has a clear plan for when he takes strike, and that is simply get off strike.
Quick single, that'll do.
Quick single, get Will Sutherland back on strike. He's opening up the shoulders now. He knows how to play this game. 29 off 21 balls. Berthasell, he's looked handy, but he's now conceded none for 21 off his 13 deliveries. Now Sam Harper needs him to come to the party here. Teams always like to score a boundary from the first ball, and Sutherland's done exactly that. There's the next one. He's punched that one away over cover, running through for the second. They're going to field that just inside the boundary, come through for the third. And that's where they'll leave it. Lemire now to take strike after Sutherland. 3 runs. Good running between the wicket and certainly lifted the scoring here. Early stages of this now, the 16th over. 3 for 126. So we talked about Lemire and what he needs to do, Will. Get off strike. 1 from 2.
You do wonder though if that tactic maybe what sort of role that plays on his head and gives him maybe some unnecessary nerves. Just see how he plays it here as well.
Just punches that one into cover. No run conceded. And the Stars will know they've got an opportunity here too, Will, to try and put him under pressure, to keep him on strike, to make him perhaps go for the big shot. Bit of a chat. His captain's come down the pitch. Love to be out there and just understand what the instructions are to him. Oh, he's played and missed at that one. That's a beautiful delivery from Berthasell. Didn't know too much about that one, Lemire. So Berthasell recovering here. 4 off the first, 3 off the second. Dot to Lemire. Again, another chat with his captain.
And Lemire, one of the younger players in this Renegades side, 22. I think he's the 3rd youngest in their squad, but he plays an important role in this team as their wicket keeper, so a mainstay nonetheless.
Cut that one away nicely. His captain will be really pleased with that. Cut away through backward point to the boundary. And Lemire, a couple of dot balls, puts the score on the board, moves him up to 5 from 5. 1 to come.
Yeah, interesting to see what he does here. Tries to just squeeze a quick single maybe and keep himself on strike, or maybe he'll go for a little block and ensure that Sutherland has it to start the next over.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's boundary or block is the call here. Oh, they've scooted through for a dangerous single. The French cut, I think, there from Lemire, living dangerously. And that ball skipping through there down to fine leg. And to my surprise, Will, they've gone through for the single. So Lemire will be on strike to face the 17th over. And
I think it was the captain Sutherland who's called that as well. So maybe putting a little bit of faith in his counterpart, Lemire.
Yep.
But perhaps that's what these games are about as well. Just trying to build some confidence in the team and some, I guess, synchronisation between those batsmen as well.
Yep. Now, that's a very good call, I think, because as you point out, this is for both of them, it's their academy team. So this is about learning as well. As we see the Renegades score sheet there, Brown at the top of the order, 39 from 26. He came out and really was aggressive early. Peak, I love the way he built his innings, 46 runs. Harry Dixon tried to keep the pace moving, but he was caught at cover. And Will Sutherland now just opening the shoulders in the last over or so to move his scoring up dramatically. 32 runs now from 22 balls. And Lemire is going at a run of ball, and his captain would be really happy with the fact that he just lifted that with the last boundary that he scored. Let's see what he can do here with Mackenzie, the spinner, coming back into the attack.
24 runs off the last 2 overs, so they've really started to increase that run rate as well, Dom.
Yep, they were struggling to get it to 8, weren't they? And now going at 12, so exactly what Sutherland would want. Oh, he's given Lemire some licence here, and he's cracked that one away through mid-off, only for the single. Merlot coming in to field that one. And Sutherland, after his fireworks of an over and a half ago, finds himself back on strike for the first time in, I think, about 7 balls or so. Just a reminder that the Stars won the toss here this afternoon and elected to bowl, which has been an unusual decision compared to some of the other matches we've seen in the last week or so. Mackenzie, a flatter delivery. Sutherland pulls that one away through mid-wicket. Bit of a fumble. They're going to go for the second. No, they're not. They thought about it. Coming in off the boundary there was Liam Blackford, just able to put the pressure on.
Blackford, another one who's had impact in the field with that catch. Harry Dixon off his third ball. But importantly as well, I think, Dom, the Gades now in a position where maybe they can experiment, given they've put a few more runs on those last 2 and a bit overs.
Lemire, now his opportunity. Cracks that one through, extra cover. Again, Merlot with the fielding. Impressive stuff. Came in quickly, released the ball quickly. You can hear the loud call of no. So Lemire just a single, but he's doing his job. Run a ball, and he's now got Sutherland back on strike. Mackenzie only conceding singles so far. His challenge now is to face Sutherland. Cracks that one away through point, out towards the boundary. Sharma fielding out there. Whips that one through on the left arm. Nicely done. Good running between the wickets too. 2 runs added to the Renegades score. They move to 3 for 136. Midway through now this 17th over. Could that 160 still be within reach? Didn't look so a few overs ago, Will, but now it does.
Well, swings and roundabouts. Now they're definitely looking like they're much more comfortable and chasing without sort of the fear that they had halfway through this innings. They just sort of slowed off the pace, maybe got into their heads a little bit, but now they're very comfortable with where they're playing and playing the ball.
Mackenzie now 2 more deliveries to close out this over. It's been good so far. And Sutherland stepped away then. I'm not sure why, Will. He didn't look too happy either when he stepped away. I didn't see any movement in the field. Oh, off the leading edge. A big call there for LBW. Might have been off the top of the pad. In fact, that's the call from the umpire. So a leg by. Gee, Sam Harper was up, wasn't he?
Yeah. Probably the biggest appeal we've had. Only a couple so far this innings. But umpire hasn't called that one either. Wind picking up a little bit here.
Mackenzie in. Sutherland is up to the challenge. Bangs that one away, and that's 6. That is a straight 6, straight down the ground. Lucky there's a fence here at DXC Arena. That's the only way that was captured. It's a beautiful strike there from Will Sutherland. In fact, was that Lemire?
I think it might
have
been
Lemire.
Lemire.
That was Lemire striking that one away.
A single off that last leg by.
It was too. My apologies. That was a beautiful strike from Lemire there. That takes him to 14 from 9 deliveries. Will Sutherland, of course, 35 off 25. That was a terrific shot from Lemire. So he's certainly working his way into his innings. Mackenzie now conceding 29 runs from his 4 overs. Sutherland again squared up a little there.
Ooh.
And sends his teammate back. They only came through for the single. Sutherland was looking for a second, but it was not having any of that. So they scamper through for a lucky single. So Sharma it is in the attacker. Loved his intent, the fielding pressure. Scampered around, collected the ball, shy at the stumps. Cracked away now by Lemire, but ball fielded out there at cover. So a single and a dot ball only so far for Sharma in this his 2nd over. Lemire sitting on 14 runs. Again, he's another who's built his innings nicely. Really only 2 key scoring shots for him, a 4 and a 6.
It's all he's needed to really cause some damage though, and as you can see by that scoreboard, Renegades in a pretty good spot.
He's gone with the reverse sweep, and he's tucked that one away beautifully for another boundary. Has Lemire, and Sutherland strides down the pitch and pumps his fist and says, well done. That is a beautiful shot. 18 from 11 deliveries, and I was saying a moment ago, he's only scored really from 2 shots. There's his third. He's absolutely doing his job here, scoring in boundaries and then turning over the strike when he needs to.
Maybe it'll be Sutherland who's just looking for the quick single to get Lemire back on strike.
Back on strike. Gee, well done. So Sharma now conceding 16 runs from his 9 deliveries. Lemire just pushes that one through on the leg side. Quickly through for the single.
Before that last boundary, you sort of thought the Renegades are in a good spot here. They can coast it almost to run a ball and just get to that 160, which, whether it's a score or not, it's a target for them to reach to. Anything more than that is interest. You think with 2 and a bit overs to go, they'll definitely reach that target.
Sutherland opens up the shoulders, cracks that one away through to cover. Bounced off his chest there. Recovered pretty quickly. They go through for the single. Well done to Sutherland. He's doing what you said, Will. He's getting off strike and making sure that Lemire gets to open his shoulders again here, the young man. He's done really well, 19 off 12. Both of them in the groove now. Last ball for Sharma. Gives himself a little bit of space. Backward a point. Crack that one through, does it Lemire, but only the single. But he will retain the strike to begin the 19th over. The Renegades at the end of the 18th, 3 for 151. Sutherland on 37, Lemire 20. And looking to add to that score is his confidence really growing, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. In game 1, it's probably not a bad place to do it while they've got, I guess, a bit of freedom to do so. And hopefully it gives particularly Lemire, who, as we mentioned, is one of the younger ones in the side. He is an integral part being the keeper, but it gives him a little bit more confidence with the bat going forward. Obviously, each team will be playing 6 games throughout this competition at least. And just looking at the bowlers there, only 1 wicket each to Warren and Lazark and to Merlot. Merlot obviously catching that ball off Amlazark. He caught Oliver Peake was, who was at the time looking like the danger man, but best bowling, you'd have to say, just missed it as it's come up. It's beat me, Dom, the pace of that scoreboard there. But Merlot probably the most damaging at the moment.
And Lazark again. Straight back down the ground, past him. His dive was valiant, but could not stop the single. And Lazark's figures 1 for 29. And this, of course, will his last over now. His 4th. So he's been serviceable. Sam Harper would love to see if he can take a wicket here just to try and unsettle these 2 batters who look very settled and are communicating very nicely. Full toss. Whips it away behind square, does Sutherland. Fielded nicely down there, and they're going to come back through easily in the end for the second. So good cricket all round. Renegades just continuing to tick over the scoreboard here. Importantly, I think, for where we've reached, Will, that was Sutherland coming back for 2 runs. He still is the most important one, I think, to be able to take the strike here.
Yeah, I think so. And you're probably looking at closer to the end of the innings. You want to finish it strong. You don't want to drop a couple of cheap wickets and change the mood. You want to go into that innings break with a bit of stride and a bit of perk in your step.
He's bounced that one away, and that is just cracked away. That is a magnificent hit over deep mid-wicket from Will Sutherland, and a beautiful 6. He's hit 2 of them, both of them in the same region. That is a cracking shot, and I say that literally. You could hear that off the bat. That's a beautiful sound, isn't it?
That one's nearly gone into the hole on the 4th hole over there at the golf course next door as well.
Cracking shot from Will Sutherland. He takes his personal tally now to 45 off 29. More importantly, Will's Renegades 3 for 160. They've reached that score. Now, what can they add to it? They've got an over and a half to play with here.
Yeah, you'd think anything from here is just extras, but they also don't want to just let that over and a half pass them by. Want to capitalise on this opportunity.
And Lazak bounces to him again. He's going to clear the field straight through cover. The diving attempt from Sharma there was valiant, but another boundary to the dangerous and the ever more dangerous Will Sutherland, 4 runs.
So far, this one on track to probably be the most expensive over of the innings. At the moment, I think that was back to Anlazak again in the 3rd over. So he's been a little bit costly so far. Has taken the 1 wicket, Anlazak.
Well, Sutherland 1 run away now from a half century. He's such a quality player. Knows how to build an innings. Down the leg side. And the wide conceded. So Anlazak clearly worried about his hitting power on the offside and just strayed a little bit too far there on the leg side. Mind you, his 2 great 6s have been on the leg side.
Sutherland now the leading scorer for the Renegades with 49.
He goes again, and that is another 6. And he's again pulled that beautifully up over deep mid-wicket. I feel sorry for the fielder down there. He's just watched the ball go 3 times over his head down there. Well done, Will Sutherland. 55 runs off 31 deliveries. He's taken the Renegade score now up over 170, and there's still a ball to come in this, the 19th over. He's hit 3 boundaries, 2 6s and a 4. And Lazak, can he close this out without any further damage to the scoreboard for his team? He's sitting on a 1 for 48. He goes again, doesn't quite middle that one, squirts that one out through square leg. They're going to come back for the second. That's excellent running. Clearly Sutherland not concerned about being on strike to start the last over. That honour is going to go to Lemire, but at the end of the 19th, the Renegades 3 for 173. Will Sutherland 57 from 32. Lemire will start the 20th over on 21 from 14.
Most expensive over of the innings so far. 22 runs they got off there. As you said, there were 3 boundaries, 2 6s and a 4. There was also a wide thrown in there, and some really good running between the wickets, as we said. That last one in particular, just milking everything they can out of Anlazak there, who probably not the best innings for him. As we said, he's the most expensive bowler of the day so far. Yeah,
I've loved that approach, Will. It's been really interesting to see Sutherland as captain. How is he going to work with one of the younger players out there? And clearly it's been, if there's a run on, we're going to take it. I'm not going to worry about taking the strike every time. If you're on strike, great, you go for it. So Max Berthasell back into the attack to bowl this, the last over of the Renegades innings. Left arm around the wicket. Oh, that's a full toss. And that is straight down the throat of the fielder out there. Has that been called a no ball? I think it may have been. Yes, it is. Everybody seemed to know that instantly then. So Lemire cracked that one away. Was caught on the boundary. He scores a single. Will Sutherland on strike for the free hit. Perfect. Perfect for the Renegades.
And we're talking about opportunities and making the most of them. Don, that last one, he hit straight to the boundaries just in front of us here in this commentary tent. You think he's going to do the same here with a free hit. Make the most of it.
So what's Max Berthasell's plan here? Another full toss, and he just smashes that one away. That is out of the ground over onto the second oval here at DXC Arena. That is the biggest 6 of this match easily. A wonderful strike from Will Sutherland. And he takes his team score to 3 for 181 runs. So we talk about bonus here, Will's War. We were looking at 160. 79 runs it was at the end of the 10th over. They've more than doubled that now. Well and truly. 160 we thought was par. 3 for 181. Will Sutherland 63 from 33. Lemire, a wonderful supporting role from him at 22 from 15. I don't know why he bowled the full toss, but he did, and it just was in Will Sutherland's swinging arc, and he just punished it.
Earlier in the innings, Dom, we're talking about sort of both teams waiting to just see who would make the mistake first or who would strike first, and you thought maybe the Stars are getting on top, but they've really lost their way since captain Will Sutherland got that first 6 midway through the 13th over. They've just completely turned the tide of this game, and it's been dominant ever since then. A couple of 12s and a 22 run over there. I think the lowest they've gotten at times has just been 8 runs, which that was what we were thinking would be the max they'd get this innings, and as I said, really turned the tide of this innings.
Yes, I think I put the figure out there, didn't I? Saying 160 was, at least double the score. If they had that at the 20 over mark, they'd be happy. If they scored 180, that'd be great. Well, they've got 5 more balls here. Oh, and he's just given himself way too much room, Will Sutherland, and he's been bowled from Berthasell. Well done, Max Berthasell. Held his nerve there and just bowled straight at the wickets. So Will Sutherland, his innings, and what a wonderful innings it was, comes to an end. 63 from 34 deliveries, and Max Berthasell, in his last over, 1 for 37. That is a really, really important wicket. You may think, oh, it's in the last over, it doesn't really matter. Will Sutherland, if he'd had another 5 balls that he actually stayed and faced, could have put on between 20 and 30 runs. So well done to Max Berthasell. The Stars have an opportunity here now. Another batsman, a new batsman coming to the crease. Can they keep this score, dare I say it, under 200?
Yeah, there's plenty of time for them to score. I mean, there's only 4 balls left, but they can do plenty of damage in those 4 balls. But interesting to see what happens with these last 4 balls, because just as quickly as we've spoken about the Gades getting the game on their terms, I don't want to give away a few easy wickets here.
So Max Berthasell now. His now on strike, just carves that away nicely there. Backward of point, and he runs through for a single. Sensible batting. Gets Lemire back on strike, who's sitting on 22 off 15. Got the opportunity here to face 3 balls. What can he do with them? His scoring has predominantly been in boundaries. He's been able to hit the ball well. But Max Berthasell has shown that he's up to the task here this afternoon. Gave himself a little bit of room, did Lemire. Straight back down the ground through mid-on. They're going to come back for the second. Good throw. There's an appeal there for a run out, but Lemire in. Great throw from the outfield. Another 2 runs on the board for the Renegades.
Loving a full toss this over Berthasell.
Yeah, he did well, didn't he, Berthasell? And he'd moved so far over that it took his off stump there. Sutherland just trying to clear space there and hit another long boundary out on the leg side. Nothing doing. Lemire giving himself room. Bangs that one up high, long. The outfielder was there. No catch taken. They scamper through again for another 2 runs. So Lemire chancing his arm. He's got the opportunity here to face the last ball of this innings. He's down on his haunches here too, Will. No ball called. So this is going to be a free hit. And Lemire, the heat perhaps taking an effect with him here too. He's been out there for a while. He's got 26 runs to his name from 16 deliveries, but he's just had to scamper through for 4 quite quick runs. 2 and 2. Again, he's opened up a bit of space. They run through. Wickets missed. He'll scamper through for the single, and that is a bye. He's dirty on himself there, Lemire, that he missed that free hit.
I think they'd be happy for that innings break to come. They're just looking a little bit weary out there as this innings comes to a close. Just 1 more ball to get through, Dom.
1 ball to get through. So now on strike for the Renegades to face this last delivery. Berthasell's figures, 1 for 43. Straight back over his head from there. That's a cracking shot. He's almost fallen over at the bowler's end. And in the end, Lemire run out, I think, is the call, because he'd taken off for the single and his teammate fell over. So Sam Harper's taken the bail off, and they finish here. They close out the innings. The Renegades 4 for 188. Lemire, a well-made 26 off his 18 runs. That was an impressive innings from the young man. Nair with the single, and Berthasell with the figures of 1 for 43 off his 4 overs.
Really impressed with Sutherland's batting as well that innings. Even when he was probably only on about 30 or 35 runs, you thought he was maybe the pick of the bunch of the batters too, just because of, I guess, the way that those runs changed the pace of the game. Probably when he started to get on a roll, he only had about 15, and he got 20 or so in a quick little concession, then just kept growing and growing and growing up to 63. And as I said, yeah, really impressive innings from him.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Just tremendous. 63 off 34. You talk about when he got moving, that being impressive. Looking back on it, I was probably more impressed with his first few overs when he didn't get many runs and he held his nerve. I was really impressed with that as we see the Renegades scorecard here. Brown again, I thought he started the innings off really well, 39. Peake had a tremendous innings, went through the gears to score his 46, and then again, Will Sutherland. His first few overs where he hardly scored at all, just kept his nerve, but then at the back end of it, great sixes, great boundaries. And Jai Lemire, out of the box, 26 off 18, thought closed out the innings really well for his team.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Lemire, we were talking about him being a little bit of a youngster in this side and needing maybe a little bit of leadership from Sutherland, which he definitely got throughout that innings. But yeah, he played an important role as well and definitely held his own with the bat. Looking at some of the bowlers now as well, just single wickets to Anlazak, Berthasell, Warren, and also to Merlot. We knew that Anlazak was costly. Merlot, again, probably he was one of the better bowlers there. I think he had just the one over and got 8 off it. Otherwise, Doug Warren, one of the spinners, had a few left-handed spinners we mentioned. He had the best economy there. Same with Campbell Kellaway, who was really impressed with his 2 overs that he had. Still conceded 14 and 7 off each of them. But maybe it was these bowlers and it was the fielding side who copped the heat more so than the batters as well.
So well done there from the Renegades. Really put the pressure on the Melbourne Stars. 5 for 189. Just seeing that score update there. 5 for 189. So the Melbourne Stars will be chasing 190 to win this match. Just looking at some highlights here. And there he is, Will Sutherland. Started quite slowly, but just paced his innings magnificently well. Scored a number of tremendous sixes. Just able to go through the gears beautifully. Was put under pressure by the spinners early on. Some good bowling there from bowlers such as Max Berthasell. We see Lemire. He was another who started his inning quite slowly. Just played the support role and let Will Sutherland do what he does best, and that is score boundaries when the pressure's truly on. I felt sorry for the fielder at cover. Nice little French cut there from Jai Lemire. Just did his job to perfection. Turned the strike over, scored boundaries when he was able to. Got Will Sutherland on strike. Another one just punched straight back over the bowler's head there. So much of the work was put onto the shoulders of the spinners. They did a good job through the middle stages to really slow things down, but once Will Sutherland came in, he was away.
And that's the first innings down. We'll be back for the second innings after this halftime break.
Are you looking to hit your studies for 6? Make the move to Australia's Northern Territory and start a world-class partnership where your potential can glide through boundaries and you can rack up runs in places you've never imagined. Enjoy our laid-back lifestyle and help us build what's next. When this over is over, think about getting on a good wicket and consider studying in Australia's Northern Territory. Authorised by the Northern Territory Government, Darwin.
Visiting Darwin, Australia? Make your stay a winning one at Darwin Airport Resorts. Just minutes from the airport and a short drive to the city, it's the ideal base for travellers chasing sun, culture or the cricket. With 3 comfortable hotels, 2 inviting pools and 2 on-site dining options, everything you need is right here. Relax, recharge and enjoy the top end at Darwin Airport Resorts.
Welcome back to DXC Arena for match 3 of our 2025 Top End T20 Series, which is sponsored by NT Tourism. My name is Dominic McCormack. Will Zwar with me in commentary this afternoon. We're about to get this match underway here. The Renegades, they had a terrific innings, 189 runs off their 20, and the Stars needing to chase and score 190 to win this game. Will, how are you seeing it?
Yeah, I think it was a really good innings from the Renegades first up. Probably took them a little while to get their straps, and then just as they did with Brown and Peake, Brown went out 39 runs off 26 balls. Peake then sort of found a bit of a groove, and then he went out, and then suddenly, just as the game was looking like the Stars might be getting on top in the middle, Captain Will Sutherland's come out and just started belting around the park, and they ended up on a pretty comfortable total of 4 for 188. Looks like Fergus O'Neill is going to start with the ball in hand here. Meanwhile, it'll be Sam Harper and Tom Rogers. They're chasing a target of 190.
First ball. Oh, that was almost a catch. It's come off the wicket keeper's gloves and down to the boundary for 4. Sam Harper. Well, he's somewhat like Will Sutherland. We know how he likes to play, and he likes to get away early. Terrific player in the Big Bash League for the Melbourne Stars is Sam Harper. Slashed at that one. Scored a 4, but Will, he was almost caught.
Far from convincing.
Far from convincing. Heart would have been in his mouth as he saw that one just skip away off the bat. Almost the catch to Jai Lemire, who played well. Oh, another effort there. That's touched the bat as well and just dipped. One bounce to Lemire. The young man is in the action early.
A very good innings with the bat, Lemire. Now he'll have an opportunity to apply his trade with the gloves on behind the wickets.
Oh, a nice warm afternoon continuing here. Beautiful dry season day here in Darwin. This is our winter, magnificent as it is. We've truly been treated over the last 3 months. It's been a really lovely dry season here in the top end. Effort ball there from O'Neill through to the keeper. Yeah, it's been a lovely dry season. Been truly blessed. And beautiful blue skies today. Warm out there in the middle. The Stars needing to chase down 190. Pretty handy score. Lucky here to be watching it. Got some great teams in action and some good sponsors too. The major partner, Tourism NT, the NT Government, Northern Territory Major Events Company. Harper just squared up there. Back to the bowler. So O'Neill, 4 off the first ball, nearly a wicket. And then ... to follow up. Some of the other good sponsors here for this competition: Bet365, Airport Development Group, DXC Technology, Thrifty Kookaburra, Territory Sports Medicine and Gatorade. The top end being really treated to some terrific cricket and teams literally from all over the world. Harper again squared up. Gee, this is a tremendous first over here from O'Neill.
Yes, Dom, teams also from Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan and a US team as well. So g'day to all of our listeners from overseas, wherever you might be tuning in from. Great to bring you cricket from probably the part of the world with the best weather at this time of year. It's lovely in Darwin at the moment.
No question. Harper doing something different. He's hit that one over his left shoulder, straight towards you and I, Will, and it's hit the fence just in front of our commentary position here. So he made something out of not a lot there. And that one straight down the deep fine leg for a boundary. So Sam Harper is known for doing that often, making something out of nothing. His score 8 from 6, and that is the Stars' score after this first over. None for 8. So O'Neill, a good over, but bookended by boundaries. 1 on the first ball, 1 on the last ball.
Yeah, really interesting first over, and particularly that first 4. Far from convincing. Could easily be 1 for 4. But, you know, they'd be happy with that. They don't need to get on their horses too quickly. A target of 190s, still relatively competitive. I think it was they're chasing a run rate of about 9.2 per over, I think. So if they can steady at 8 and get a few extras here or there in the first couple of overs, they'll be in a good spot. Captain Will Sutherland now coming in to do some damage with the ball.
Rogers on strike. Gets that one away, back a square. Scoots off for the first single quickly. Always like to see intent from the batters, and Rogers certainly had that. Sent back by his captain in Harper. Always got to run that first the first single quickly. Did that exactly then. Never know what opportunities there might be with a fumble in the field, or any of the Renegades are on here. Sutherland, that's a nice lifting delivery from him. Harper having a waft at it, straight through to the keeper. Just to let those of you who are able to camp in front of the broadcast, 4 o'clock this afternoon, the Kingsmen against the Scorchers from TIO. 6 p.m, the NT Strike taking on Nepal. And that is the match after this one here at DXC. Sutherland, he's whipped away through square by Harper, comes through for one. Yeah, nice little juggling take out there in the outfield, and the ball brought in quickly. Keeps that to the single. So a good start here, Sutherland. He'd be buoyed, wouldn't he, by his batting effort, and good first over to start with. Yeah,
absolutely. Disappointing to get out in that last over of the innings, but you think an experienced head like him, it won't take too much away, and he won't be down for too long.
He's tried to whip that one away, but a wide. I always love the little bit of magic that the wicket keepers and bowlers try and work on the umpires to try and make sure they don't call the wide, but central umpire not having anything of that here this afternoon.
Your umpires today, Rob Stewart and Ahmad Khan.
Rogers just cracks that away to cow corner. That is a super hit.
Get the ladder out, Don. That's on the roof.
That is on the roof. That's probably the second best 6 we've seen this afternoon. I still think the number 1 goes to Will Sutherland himself. But that over, that was looking good. After he's bowled the wide, Tom Rogers has just collected that effortlessly. And up over cow corner. Cracking hit.
I think Sutherland would argue that as well, that his was better than that one. Otherwise, it's come off his ball. Let's see how he can make amends for that and quell the Stars runners. He'll just be taken back. The wind picking up a little bit. I'm not sure if that's maybe knocked the bails off there. It has been quite strong at points, and it can be quite strong here at DXC Arena. If you're not familiar with it, it backs right onto the airport, so there can be a bit of a wind tunnel through here at times.
Sutherland with the effort ball off the glove. It's gone straight over the top of the wicket-keeper's head and down to the boundary for 4 runs. So on the attack, Tom Rogers scores a 6, scores a 4. He's got into his work nice and early here, has Tom Rogers. If you're keen on more cricket, Super Saturday tomorrow at 11 a.m, the Renegades against the ACT Comets at TIO. 2 o'clock, Stars against the Hurricanes at DXC. 4 p.m, Pakistan against the Scorchers. Will Sutherland slashed away here by Rogers, and that'll be another boundary. Rogers on fire here. That was a magnificent shot from the left-hander through cover for 4. The last 3 balls. 6, 4, 4.
Yeah, costly over. It started off pretty well, 1.1, and then it all sort of fell apart there after that wide.
Thereafter.
Yeah.
I'll just finish off that Super Saturday for you. And the last game for tomorrow, 6 p.m, Bangladesh against Nepal from this ground here, DXC Arena. So some super cricket coming up this afternoon, but then also tomorrow for Super Saturday.
Yeah, another big bash matchup on Super Saturday, another international matchup on Super Saturday. And the highlight for us, Dom, will be calling that Renegades Comets game together again. If you've enjoyed this afternoon's commentary, you can get more tomorrow morning, and if not, give us another chance at 11 a.m.
That's exactly right. We're certainly looking forward to it. Every game's got something about it. Oh, cracked away there by Harper. Just slashed away up and over point for a boundary. That is a slashing shot, and that's coming off David Moody. His introduction to this contest is a 4. And as we see so often, if they can, the batting team, they really want to try and score a boundary early. Well, Sam Harper's done exactly that. Cracked that one away beautifully.
Off to 29 already. Dom, that run rate has gotten right up early.
Well, they're taking on the challenge of chasing on 190, that's for sure. Just tucked around through fine leg is Sam Harper, and they go through for the 1 run. Rogers on strike, and you can see the field having to change around now for the left-hander. So Rogers 15 from 4. Harper 10 off 9. We know Harper to be an aggressive wicket-keeper batsman, but Rogers, with his last over, the last 3 balls, 6-4-4, raced away. What can Moody do here? Rogers in a mood, no pun intended. Oh, squeezed him up beautifully there, did Moody. No run conceded. So the Stars, none for 30. We're only halfway through the 3rd over. So they're going at 12 even. Required is just above 9. So Sam Harper would be very happy with the positioning of his team so far. Gotten off to an excellent start. Down leg side, and instantly will be called a wide.
14 runs to his name as well, Sam Harper.
Yeah. He did step away slightly there, Rogers, but the umpire wasn't having anything to do with that. A little bit of that breeze still coming through. Warm afternoon. And it's the Renegades' turn to stand out there in the 30-plus degree heat. Rogers gets that one away, splits the field, and that will be another boundary through backward square leg.
Another good crack off the bat. You mentioned that heat, Dom, and now it's potentially the Renegades who are going to have to deal with it the most. The Stars can just rest and recover from their fielding innings in the aircon and wait until their time in the sun. For the Gades now, this is it. This is them for the afternoon. They've got to pucker up and just do their job out in the field. With a pretty demoralising start, you just wonder if they can bring it back onto their terms.
Oh. Moody, head high, cut off by the wicket-keeper. Moody's gone, Rogers, I should say, has gone to ground as a result of that Moody delivery. And as one would expect, called a no ball. One of the things that's not going to happen here this afternoon, that has happened in the matches to date, is that there's not going to be any dew in the second innings, which has caused issues with the ball. And I think potentially it's one of the reasons why the team that's batted second has found it so difficult. With this beautiful breeze and heat here this afternoon, Will, that is not going to be happening.
No, absolutely not. And it'll be interesting to see the difference between the day and night games in this competition.
Moody. Oh, Rogers is just going to get away with that. He was managed to tuck it away backward a square. But for Moody to get out of that free hit with just a single is a good effort. Rogers just taking his helmet off after that effort, and
looked like it.
Bit of a repair effort. I thought it might have hit it actually.
Yeah, I think it might have hit the grate on its way through, and the ball before obviously had to jump out of the way, but that was ultimately called a no ball as well. In fact, they're giving it a little switcheroo. No, just a bit of a sip of water.
I think it's mandatory these days, isn't it, that if the ball hits the helmet, it has to be checked. And they check and make sure that the player's okay, because too many times in the past there were players that were hit in the helmet and they've said, oh no, all's fine, whereas the reality was later on that they in fact weren't fine and there'd been impact through the helmet. So staff out there now just checking with Rogers.
It looks like they have brought another helmet out as well.
I think with the more that we know from a medical science perspective about head injuries and impact injuries, even with helmets being worn, the precautionary behaviour is certainly the best behaviour. Prevention better than the cure, as they say, and to go out there and just start afresh with a new helmet. Plenty of helmets on offer. Might as well do exactly that.
On paper, seeming like a costly over for the Renegades, as the last one was, but a few halts in play, maybe it'll give a bit of a swing and a dip to the momentum here, and maybe that's how the Renegades will try and get it back onto their terms.
Moody's over. He's bowled the 5 deliveries, none for 11 so far, and he's bowled a wide, a no ball. He's had a bye called. So it's been a bit of an all over the place over so far from Moody. Sam Harper there just asking one of the cameramen to move out of his eye range. Here comes Moody. Better delivery. Squared him up. Ball squirts out to cover. No run conceded. Well done to Moody. Pressure was on there. The break, as you said, Will, may have helped him a bit. The Stars after 3, they'd be wrapped. None for 37.
Yeah, really happy over for the Stars. I think a couple of overs. 8 in that first, and it seemed like it was a little bit shaky to start with. Dot balls and bookended by those 2 fours. The first of which in particular very shaky. The second one probably a bit more mainstream. But then 17 off Sutherland, 11 off Moody, and suddenly that total of 190. Well, it's not confirmed, it's not definite, but they're definitely on track and looking the right way. Run rate of 12.33, definitely on top of the 9.6 required.
Yes, I think if you'd said to Sam Harper, look, mate, after 3 overs, you're going to be none for 37, run rate of 12 and no wicket down, I'm sure that he would have said, thanks very much, I'll take that. Crone now to come into bowl. Another pace bowler. And Rogers facing on 19 from 8. Goes hard, goes long, and to the boundary for 4. So Rogers, he is in the groove so early here. That one struck magnificently through mid-on and to the fence for another boundary. 23 from 9, if you don't mind. The Stars none for 41. First ball of the 4th. So Sam Harper is known for being aggressive. He's been pretty slack so far, 14 off 11. And Rogers, 23 off 9. Welcome to Crone. He goes again. Doesn't quite get it out of the middle. Scoots out to the boundary here through square leg and mid-wicket. Only the 1. Sam Harper on strike.
Interesting choice of bowlers. I thought Fergus O'Neill did enough to maybe warrant another over in that first, but Sutherland and the Renegades have opted for 4 different bowlers so far, and I mean, Crone's only had the 2 opportunities, but all 3 since O'Neill have looked a bit shaky.
And no spin as yet. Harper again squared up. Defensive shot out to cover. No run. Rogers has been the aggressive one out of this partnership so far. In comes Crone. Harper gets the bat on that, the under edge. Back to the wicket keeper. Since the first boundary, this has been good from Crone. Got 2 more balls, needs to try and close this out for his captain. Nice breeze that Crone is having to bowl into here at DXC Arena. It is a warm afternoon, but the players will be enjoying the fact that there is some movement in the air. Harper crashes that one away through mid-wicket. Fielders are in the outfield. And they jog through for a second. So Harper moves on to 16 from his 14 faced. But Crone keeping this under control, really. Only the 7 runs conceded thus far in his first over. And when the Stars have been going at 12s, 7 sounds much better. Good delivery, dealt with by Harper. Clears the infield. Mid-wicket running back to collect that ball. They jog through again. 4-3 it may have been. Last ball of the over. So 10 off it. Again, you don't really want to be conceding 10, but when your teammates have been conceding 12s, they've at least dragged it back a little bit. None for 47 after 4 overs. Run rate 11.75. Rogers on 24. Harper 19. And both of them going at a fair rate.
At the same stage, Don McCormack, the Renegades were on 30 runs. They're effectively 2 runs ahead of where the Gades were, the Melbourne Stars. So a very good start. They're still shy of that 50-run mark. But it seems like it's been a quicker than flash, and if you think back 20 overs time, that 50 really crept up on us at the Renegades. Got its 2 very different approaches from the different batting sides.
Yeah, they seemed to be achieved in a calmer fashion, didn't it? Whereas here, wow, they've raced to it, or almost to it. Harper on strike here, Nair coming in for his first look at it this afternoon, and the first introduction of spin over the wicket. Harper gets a touch on that, having to scoot through for the single, and they make that easily there. Rogers was on his bike early. The little touch out on the offside there by Harper. Again, just keeping the scoreboard ticking over. Not all about the boundaries, but making sure the score's on the board. Similar approach, of course, to how the Renegades did it, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a little hold up as they're trying to readjust some of those fielding positions. The Renegades.
Now having to come around the wicket now with the left-hander on strike. Rogers gets that one away on the leg side. Fielded out there through mid-wicket. Back to the bowler rapidly. So Nair started positively here. Just the 2 singles as the batsmen get a bit of a look each at his bowling so far. Harper getting that one away through mid-on. Again, only for the single. Just having a bit of a look here at this first introduction of spin for the afternoon. Field adjusting again. And this is the benefit of rotating the strike. The field's got to work hard. And that's no mean feat on a warm afternoon. Rogers gets that one away straight to the fielders. Going to get to him on the first bounce. Perhaps a little lucky. But again, only the single. And again, we see the rotation.
Don, we spoke in the Stars innings. They only had a plethora of left-handed bowlers.
Harper just batting that one away, French cricket style almost. You know, to scoot through for the second. No, they've thought much better of that. Well done, Nair, fielding off his own bowling there. He was the one who kept that down to the single.
Cheeky little bunt there.
Yeah, indeed. 5 singles in a row. Rogers back on strike.
Just the 2 left-handed bowlers in the Renegades side. 1 spinner and 1 medium pacer.
Well, Nair as a right-handed spinner is doing the job for his captain here. Darts that one in. Comes awkwardly off the bat. Just squeezes it out through gully. Fielded there by the wickie in Lemire. And that's a really good tidy over from Nair. Interesting to see now whether Will Sutherland chooses to go with spin again. So only the 5 runs conceded and a rare dot ball in that over. The Stars, at the end of the 5th over, none for 52 runs. So they've made their 50 in quick time.
Yeah, 5 different bowlers, as you can see there. Arjun Nair, definitely the most economic of all of them. Will Sutherland, the captain, with a disappointing 17 in that 2nd over. Fergus O'Neill, looking forward to seeing him bring him back into the lineup, but it doesn't look like it. It's going to be Callum Stowe, who is one of those left-handed. He's a left arm wrist spinner, so we'll see if that left will impact the batting style at all. Maybe just cause a little bit of a tremor through that batting lineup.
Well, an interesting move here by Will Sutherland. I was wondering whether he'd go to a spinner again, and perhaps this is premeditated already given the way that the ground is playing, but spinner from either end now. In he comes, the left armour. Cracked away. Well fielded off his own bowling. He got a touch to it, and that kept it down. In fact, it kept it to a dot ball. So an excellent effort by the bowler on that occasion. Keeps Rogers on strike. Left armour to left armour. Stowe for his 2nd. Darts that one in, and that's straight down the ground and right over our commentary tent for 6. I thought I might have had to take a catch there for a moment. That's a tremendous hit by Rogers.
Really getting into a good groove here. The Stars, doesn't look like that left arm of Callum Stowe has had an impact at all.
Callum Stowe's 2nd ball. First was a dot, 2nd was a 6. Let's see how Rogers is going to approach this one. Same fashion, straight down the ground. Fielder in place though. They come through for the single. Just got to be so brave as a spinner. He tossed it up again. Just a single on that occasion. Harper now on strike. 22 off 18, but Rogers 34 from 16. He's really been the aggressor. Hit 2 6s, and that was a beauty. Harper now just squeezes that out on the leg side. Mid-wicket in quickly. They scoot through for 2. Good running between the wickets, or was it? Gee, Lemire, he's asked the question.
Umpire's not going to
take the He's been turned down, hasn't he? Gee, I'd love to see that again. Stowe's making a few things happen here. A dot ball, a 6, single, a 2, and almost a run out.
Almost, not quite.
They've run between the wickets pretty well, these two. Calling's been good, the running's been strong. Harper goes 4 to square. Just cuts that one away nicely. And this time, no pressure on the run. Just jogs through for the single. 1 ball to come from Stowe. Aside from the 6, it's been a pretty tidy over. What can he produce here? Darts that one in. And Rogers just pushes that one away through mid-off. And just the single. Rogers to retain the strike to begin the 7th over. But at the end of the 6th, the Stars none for 64. Just continuing on in their merry way at the moment. Is adding to the scoreboard nicely. Both of these batsmen, you'd have to say, will beautifully set here at the moment. Harper 25 off 20. Rogers 35 from only 17.
Yeah, they've started really well. Rogers probably had a little bit better of it, but I mean, they're both building some pretty good innings. Innings as it is. Look, the Renegades just can't quite seem to settle on a bowling lineup at the moment. They're going back to O'Neill, who opened it, who I have said I'm keen to see a bit more of. But even though we said Stowe seemed to keep it tight, he still conceded 11 off that 6th over just then. So Fergus O'Neill only at the 2 boundaries in. Let's see if he can keep it tight here in the 7th.
Rogers just tucks that one nicely to back of square. Harper. Rogers, in fact, I should have said, was aggressive with the running, and he's been given out on this occasion. The umpires raised the finger. Just a bit too aggressive on that occasion by Rogers. The fielding was good, as it has been throughout by the Renegades. They got the ball in quickly to Lemire. He's whipped off the bails, and not just the bails, in fact, he's whipped out the middle stump. And Rogers has to go, which is disappointing for the Renegades, Will, because these two, you'd have to say, were in charge of this innings at this stage. So that was a run out that was not needed. I mean, as if a run out is ever needed, but 35 runs from Tom Rogers. He's given them a really good platform, though, to start.
Yeah, absolutely. I think always disappointing to go by a run out. But particularly at that stage, it probably wasn't a run they needed to take.
No,
they could have just steadied and kept going. They were building a really nice partnership. Looks like it'll be Campbell Kellaway coming in, who was okay with the run off O'Neill, who was the bowler. First ball of his 2nd over. But yeah, looks like it'll be Campbell Kellaway coming into the crease at number 3. He was pretty handy with ball, so keen to see what he can do with the bat as well, Dom McCormick.
So well done, O'Neill. It was, in fact, the wicketkeeper, I think, who scooted away and got that ball in. So O'Neill, the bowler, credited with that run out. Kellaway now in. Interesting to see. The left-arm spin bowler, first drop for the Stars. It's a funny game, this T20 competition.
Mind you, they do have a few left-arm spin bowlers in their side. One of them has to drop somewhere.
They do. So Kellaway, Campbell Kellaway, faces his first delivery. Gets that one away, backward a square. Sutherland, the fielder. Off the mark straight away is Kellaway. I was impressed with his bowling. He's done nothing wrong so far with his batting. So can his over have even more of an impact here, O'Neill? A run out for the wicket off the first ball. Only the single conceded for the second. Harper giving himself some room on the first bounce to the fielder out there at point. In quickly to Lemire. Kellaway back on strike for his second opportunity. Here we see the wicket. Or momentarily we were going to. 1 for 67 they are, the Stars. Middle of the 7th over. Run rates drop now from 12 down to 10s. Oh, Kellaway, he's caught behind.
It's gone.
Got the little nick on it, and this is becoming a significant over here from O'Neill. A run out with the first ball, a wicket caught behind by Lemire for his 4th ball. 2 down in this, the 7th over. Could this be a real turning point for the Stars? So Campbell Kellaway, he goes for 1 of 2 deliveries, and the Stars, they lose their 2nd. Lemire in the action.
They could come to lament that run out in the first ball of the over. Dom, we said they didn't need to do it. They've essentially lost 2 wickets out of it.
Yes, you wonder sometimes, don't you? Just those sliding doors moments, and that could be one of them. They really pushed hard. It was always going to be risky. Did they need to take it? Hindsight would say no. They had been running pretty well between the wickets, but this O'Neill over now has yielded 2 wickets and only 2 runs. So at the same time as taking wickets, they're also dragging that run rate back to a more manageable position.
Yeah, when they hit 37 at the end of that 3rd over, they were exactly 2 overs ahead of where the Renegades were at the same time. That's still a little bit ahead of them, but it's definitely levelling out a little bit more.
Comes O'Neill. Just tapped away there by McDonald. Very much a defensive mindset with that shot. Out to cover, Will Sutherland. No score. One more ball for O'Neill to close out what would be, without question, the best over of this innings, if not the best over of the match. Good delivery. Getting away there is McDonald. Out to point. Only the single. I'll still maintain my call. That's the best over of this innings at the very least. So O'Neill 1 for 11 plus a run out, and 1 for 12 plus a run out in that over. A significant over for the Renegades. The Stars, they move on a 2 for 68 after 7. Run rate now dropped down below 10, so they're now only just above the required run rate of 9.38.
Still not a bad position for them to be in at all, Don McCormack. I think, look, they can pick that up. They just want to probably settle a little bit more, maybe get into a groove, maybe make the bowlers question themselves again, but more importantly, just not let them ride off the momentum of O'Neill's over. It was first over and 7th over for O'Neill. I don't think they'll bring him back in for the next one. Blake McDonald now coming in.
Oh, is that a catch? No, it's not. Will Sutherland, a little bit of a loose delivery, cracked away there by McDonald for a single to point, and he's wringing the hands after that effort. Teammate going over to congratulate him. Well done from Xavier Crone there to go over and just give his teammate a pat on the back. That was a mighty effort to feel that. Sutherland, his second over, he'll be looking to do a bit better than what he did in his first. He conceded, can you believe it, 17 runs in his first over. Harper looking to do the same. Cracked that one away over the top of point. Boundary. Will Sutherland, he's now conceded 5 off this, his second over. I'm not used to seeing this with Will Sutherland. Normally he's a very, very economical bowler and a devastating batsman. Well, he's done the right thing with the bat, but my goodness, they're targeting him here with his bowling. Harper now moves to 30 off 22. McDonald, 2 off 3. Is Blake McDonald doing his job? Harper goes again, crunches that one away through mid-wicket, and that is another boundary. So Will Sutherland proving to be extremely expensive here. 1-4-4 for his first 3 balls.
Yeah, interesting decision. I mean, obviously as the captain, you've sort of got to back yourself and think, okay, I'm going to, take the ball in my hand and try and build on the momentum of my teammate Fergus O'Neill. Hasn't worked here. Back to the drawing board at the end of this over, but he just hoped that he hasn't taken away that momentum completely. You'd hope that 9 runs off the first 3 balls is as bad as it's going to get for this over.
Captain to captain, that one's hit Harper. It's up in the air, and that's a good catch. Well, ultimately it's worked, Will, because that is a really, really good catch out there, a deep square leg. Captain to captain. I thought Sam Harper had actually been hit on the glove, and maybe it did take a bit of glove because he didn't quite hit it as well as he'd hoped to, but a tremendous catch out there, looking into the sun from deep square leg. Harper goes for 34 of 24 deliveries, and Will Sutherland, well, he was going as well. He'd gone for boundaries, picks up the wicket, and an important one too, because it does now just put that pressure back on again. 3rd wicket falls for the Stars.
Yeah, and the danger man, he's gone. It means that they've got two in at the wicket who relatively, I guess, new to this innings. Obviously, only a couple of balls in it for Blake McDonald and Merlo. He'll come in. I mean, Merlo is another experienced head in the side, so it's not as if it's sort of 2 youngsters out there. But, coming into what was a pretty strong run of play from the Stars, it's now back to square one for these 2 batsmen.
And there we see it off Sam Harper. Perhaps caught him slightly high on his bat, high up and under, out through deep square leg, and had to dive in the end to take that catch, and took it well. They needed him to take that. Will Sutherland personally needed him to take it. So he's picked up his first. 4 balls into this, his second over. Will Sutherland 1 for 26. So he's been extremely expensive. But the Stars now 3 for 77 in this 8th over. Nice shot through cover. Just a single from Merlo. He's a strong player, Merlot. Single gets him going straight away. Blake McDonald to take this last delivery here from Will Sutherland. Oh, got the outside edge, did Will Sutherland, almost to the wicket keeper. Goes for another boundary in this his second over. So very, very expensive again. He's gone for 14 runs in this second over. 1 for 31, Will Sutherland. But would he take it? Probably he would. That Sam Harper's gone. 3 for 82 at the end of the 8th over are the Melbourne Stars.
Yeah, captain taking the captain. That's as good as it gets for a bowler. I wonder if you're right, you wonder if he would take that, given how expensive it was. But looking at the score worm here, and the Stars still doing better than the Renegades. They've been doing better than them all innings. They've just got to maintain the run rate, keep it above about 9.2 per over, and they should be there. They do have a few extra runs up their sleeve as it is at the moment. 3 for 82. At the same stage, it was 65 runs to the Renegades, and I think they just had their first wicket taken.
Nair back into the contest here. Ball just pulled away for the Stars there by Jonathan Merlot. Forward a square, and they gain themselves another run. Nair was very good in his first over.
Just the 5 runs conceded.
Yeah, let's see whether he can tighten the screws again here for the Renegades. Go on the reverse, straight to the fielder, and it's just clean bowled him, straight through. So they go for the single, they're going to come back for the second, and in the end they'll make it quite easily. Wow, for the Melbourne Renegades down there, missing the ball was Callum Stowe. Still only the 2. Crunching that one away, McDonald. Retrieved there by Point. Another single to the tally.
McDonald, another one of the senior players in this Stars Academy outfit. The 2 of them out there, McDonald and Merlot, if they're not careful and they let them get a run on, and even just not get too many runs, but just build momentum and confidence at the crease, they could be really damaging later in the innings.
Oh, there's an appeal there. Good bowling again from Nair. Didn't know too much about that one. Dot ball. So 4 balls in for Nair. Only the 4 runs conceded. Another good delivery from Nair, taken cleanly by Lemire, the wicketkeeper. Can he close this one out? Keep it to the 4 runs. Yes, he can. What an over from Arjun Nair. 1-2-1, and then 3 dots in a row. 2 overs down, none for 10. Got the economy rate of 5 at the moment, so superb effort. Did exactly what his captain would have wanted. The wicket of Sam Harper in the last over, an expensive over, but wicket gained, and then an over that only concedes 4 runs.
Yeah, be really happy with that. Yet to concede a boundary, Arjun Nair.
The Stars after 9, 3 for 86. And these 2 relatively new batsmen really having to get their skates on here. Just taking a few balls to get their eye in. Callum Stowe, the man, back into the action. So going with spin again, Will. Back-to-back spin. And immediately after that wicket.
He's one of their left-handers as well, so changing up again, just throw a cat amongst the pigeons.
Darts that one in. That's a good delivery. Defensive shot from Blake McDonald. Dot ball to start for Callum Stowe, so the ideal start for him. Another good delivery. Looking to go on the attack was McDonald. Missed the ball completely.
His last over in the 6th. He conceded 1 boundary, a 6 off his second ball. Otherwise, 11. So that one blemish, otherwise relatively tight.
McDonald, the last shot was looking to go over mid-wicket. He's done that in this occasion. That's a big 6 too. Superb shot, clears the fence. 6 runs to Blake McDonald. A much-needed boundary, you might say. Moves them now onto 3 for 92 in the middle of this, the 10th over. Run rate just edging up a little bit again there for the Stars. And Callum Stowe, just that one blemish again. He conceded a 6 in his first over. He's now conceded a 6 again in this, his second over. So 3 balls to come.
Yeah, there is that blemish. And otherwise, what's been relatively tight bowling from there? From Stowe, sorry.
Flatter delivery, whip that one in, and they'll jog through for the single. 2 balls to go. McDonald really looking to go after him here. Interesting to see what approach Merlot adopts. Beautiful delivery. Again, was trying to sweep that through square. Missed the ball completely and taken nicely by Lemire behind the stumps.
And it's balls like this last one. They'll be very aware of where their run rate is and how many runs they've got for this over.
Giving that a bit more flight. That's a lovely delivery. Fields off his own bowling, doesn't concede again. So yet again, Will, just the one blemish, the one boundary. And each time he's conceded a boundary, it's been a 6 on both occasions.
And thirsty work deserves some drinks. We'll have a quick drinks break here for both sides. But as you saw, then the last ball of that over, we mentioned they knew that they were a little bit behind what the run rate has been so far. They were happy to just let it go, reset after this drinks break. They'd still be pretty happy with that. I think at the moment they're currently sitting on all. There you go. They're still ahead of the curve. 3 for 93. Melbourne Renegades at the same time. They
79.
79 they were. Yep. Yes. So still on top at the moment. You'd probably take that extra wicket drop despite the fact that you'd say Harper and Rogers were doing a little bit better together as a pair than the early openers for the early batsmen were for the Renegades. I think the Stars still in a pretty comfortable position at the moment, but they just need to make sure, I think once they get through Merlot and McDonald, you just feel like this is almost sort of their backstop in the batting lineup. Look at them there, 2 for 7. Merlot yet to really get going. He's gotten a couple of singles, but he's still looking pretty confident out there. You know, quite, I guess, sort of staunch with his blocks, and he's looking comfortable. McDonald having a few more swings at it. A few good 6s there, as you just saw that.
More than swings
in that that over from Callum Stowe. But just looking at that second batsman there, Tom Rogers, in a really disappointing way for him to finish his innings with a run out, 35 off 17.
Yeah, indeed. Some more cricket to come here this afternoon at 4 o'clock. The Kingsmen against the Scorchers at TIO. 6 o'clock after this game, the NT Strike taking on Nepal at DXC Arena. And we'd like to acknowledge our top End T20 Series major partners, and they are the Tourism NT, the NT Government, the Northern Territory Major Events Company, Bet365, Airport Development Group, DXC Technology, Thrifty, Kookaburra, Territory Sports Medicine and Gatorade. We're thrilled to have these teams playing here in the top end in this terrific top end T20 series. It's a real thrill as commentators to be able to call these matches and see some of the wonderful talent that's on show from all the teams, and particularly when we've got teams from locations such as Bangladesh and Nepal and Pakistan and America, for heaven's sake. The first time that we've ever had a team come here from America. So just goes to show the reach of cricket, which is just awesome, Will.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And as we said before, we hope you're enjoying the commentary wherever you're tuning in from across the world. These two sides, the Renegades versus the Stars in Melbourne, it's a big rivalry. They're playing up here on Larrakia country in Darwin today.
Here comes O'Neill. Good delivery, whipped away there through square. Coming back for the second, good aggressive running. Yeah, O'Neill and Nair have been the two go-to bowlers really so far. Nair running at an economy rate of 5. O'Neill going at about 6 prior to that delivery. And he's also taken a wicket and got himself a run out as well in his last over. So O'Neill, really the man of the moment. Good delivery, just slowed it down there a touch. Again, squirted out through square. Just a single.
And only had to wait 4 overs between opportunities this time. I mentioned it was maybe a little bit too long from what I would have thought between opening in the first over and then coming again in the second, for his second over in the 7th. Good to see him back out there with ball in hand.
Just bringing up a fly slip here. Oh, the attack was on and he whipped that one through O'Neill. That was good and quick. Merlot took a step down the field and looked to charge him. Missed the ball completely. And Merlot now to be going through his head a bit here, Will, that he's now 2 from 8.
Yeah, he looks pretty confident. Got a run off his first ball. Since then, just 1 from 7. And, I mean, he looks confident, but he needs to start getting some runs on the board as well, Dom.
And there he goes. Not quite a clean shot off the bat, but out through cover. And he's got himself away from strike at least and added 1 run to his scorecard. McDonald is the one who's really had an impact since he's come out. 19 off 12 so far. He's been aggressive and played some really good shots. But O'Neill has only conceded the 4 runs so far and had a dot in this over. So will Sutherland be pretty happy with him? Nice ball. Hit away beautifully. Up and up and up and over. That's a terrific, terrific shot there. Up over cow corner from Blake McDonald. A 6 to his team's tally and a 6 to his personal tally takes that to 25 off 13. More importantly, though, for the Stars, they have now reached their 100. They are 3 for 103 with 1 ball to go in this, the 11th over of the innings. Great strike.
And back to that sort of 2 overs ahead of the Renegades score at the moment.
O'Neill, full toss. He's just got a little bit of bat on that, has McDonald. Tucked it away through the gully. And they get a single. So McDonald to maintain the strike for the 12th over. He moves on to 26, and the Stars after the 11th over, 3 for 104.
Renegades didn't cross that 100-run mark, Dom, until the 14th over. So they're probably almost 2.5, 3 overs in front of their counterparts here. That sort of came midway through that Will Sutherland patch that he had.
That's right. That's the key area, isn't it? It's the Will Sutherland patch. I think we've got Moody coming back into the attack here. So again, made the transition from a bit of spin and now a bit of pace with David Moody back into the attack. McDonald on strike. Just knocks that one away through point. Quickly through for the single. So Moody, one of those ones that he's not alone, who conceded quite a few runs in his first over, 11 in fact. That one there tightened up McDonald a bit. Now he gets to have a crack at Merlot, who hasn't really looked all that comfortable so far. Nice straight delivery, hit straight back down the ground. Nice fielding there by Arjun Nair. No run.
And if you recall Moody's first over, that was back in the 3rd of this innings. It was a bit of everything. 2 boundaries, a single. There was nearly a run out there, a wide, a no ball, and a leg by. This is start a little bit more solid with 1 and I think 2 dot balls so far. Maybe just the 1. Be prepared, Dom.
Be prepared. Here he comes. Well, he's bounced it, tucked that away, backward of square, 1 bounce, 2 bounces. Just going for the single. Moody keeping it very even here, Will. Let's see what happens because McDonald is back on strike.
And he, at the moment, looming as the danger man, 27 off 15. Merlot still, as we said, yet to get going, 4 from 11.
And as it has been for much of the Renegades innings, Moody running into a fairly decent breeze here at DXC Arena. Off he goes. Catch possible. Over the head, and that's gone for 6. We said look out for Blake McDonald. 4 runs, in fact. I thought that must have cleared the fence. It didn't. And Moody not happy with himself after that. You could see him admonishing himself. McDonald certainly the aggressor. 31 off 16. The Stars 3 for 110. What can he produce next, Moody? He's bowled pretty well so far in this over. Just gave McDonald a little bit too much room to move with that one. Squares him up, out through point, fielded well, close to the boundary, flicked in nicely. They come back for the second. Yeah, nice fielding out there. Renegades working well.
Good work there from Stowe, just paddled it back into his teammate. Saved a boundary there.
McDonald on 33, certainly the one who's making the moves here. Moody with his final delivery. Just tucked that away nicely. Through square again, through for the single. Oh, the fielder off the fence missed the ball. He was watching and waiting to see what the batsmen were going to do instead of concentrating on task number 1, which was pick up the ball. And they get through for a second run. So McDonald takes his tally to 35. Moody has conceded now the 21 runs, so another 10 in that over. The Stars, 12 overs down, 3 for 114, and they are bang on the required run rate here, Will, at 9.5, which says to me that they're still going to have to elevate somewhat to get through, as you called it, the Will Sutherland patch.
Yeah, neck and neck at the moment. And they started really strongly. Keep in mind as well, the Renegades started slow, and they did pick up towards the end, or through that Will Sutherland patch, which we're about to enter into now. I don't think the Stars need to go berserk here. I think they just need to maintain where they are. Looks like Merlot and McDonald are relatively level-headed players from what we've seen so far. Expecting them to sort of try and carry that course, just to try and stay with that run rate. Not do anything too outlandish and let that come later when they need to.
Callum Stowe back into the attack, and that ball is just cut away backward of point. They just strolled through for the 1 run. Merlot back on strike. In fact, McDonald it was, and they scoot through quickly with that one. He managed to squeeze that one out backward of square. Again for the 1. This time Merlot back on strike. Stowe's been okay. Conceded the 20.
Most economical bowler in Renegades outfit today.
Again, he puts the pressure on there, just squeezing up on Merlot. They can only get through for a single, so some good outfielding happening out there too for the Renegades. Having to concentrate at this stage. This is a danger period now in the game.
A 7 and an 11 from his 2 overs so far, only better by Arjun Nair.
Giving himself a bit of room there was McDonald. Couldn't get it away square. And good fielding there off his own bowling by Stowe. Was alert to it immediately.
Keep in mind though, Stowe's had those 2 blemishes, 1 in each over. I wonder if there will be a third in his third over, Dom.
The kiss of death from Will Zwar. Callum Stowe, what can he do here? Big shot, out through point. This time the fielder. Eyes on the ball, taking one grab, nice throw in on the bounce to Lemire. Just a very steady over here from Stowe. One more ball, can he close it out nicely here for his team? Only 72 required from 43 now, so danger time. Gave it a little bit more air on that occasion, and again, out to that man. A point for the Renegades, Harry Dixon. Nice arm in to the keeper, and The end there of the 13th over from Stowe, he did well. Finishes off with only 23 runs conceded from 3. The Stars on 3 for 119. And Will Zwar, dare I say it, the required run rate now, I think for the first time this innings is up above the current run rate for the Stars. It's a 10 as opposed to 9.
Yeah, not panic station just yet, but I think maybe just a little flicker in their mind, a little switch that they just need to think, okay, this is go time. You might be able to hear in the microphones the wind just starting to pick up a little bit more in this innings. We'll see how that impacts play. Ahead Sutherland in the bowl now.
Maybe an opportunity here as that one worked away through mid-on. They scurry through for a single. Will Sutherland, to my surprise, has been extremely expensive through his 2 overs so far.
17 and a 14, Dom.
Oh my goodness, I just can't believe that actually from Will Sutherland. He's had a single taken off the first ball of his 3rd over. It sounds ridiculous to say that the Stars might be looking to target the Renegades captain. He has got the 1 wicket though. He picked up Sam Harper. That's a nice delivery, and there's another one. He's picked up the wicket. He's been expensive, but he's been wicket taking. So Will Sutherland picks up a second with the 2nd ball of his 3rd over, and that is a really important moment to take that wicket. They've just fallen below in the run rate, and he's taken his 2nd. Well done, Will Sutherland. Brought him on at such an important moment. The spinners have been going to work, and then he says, rightio, now's my time. 3 for 120, 2nd ball of the 14th over. He strikes, and he gets the danger man too in McDonald. He was the one who was making the running out there, so McDonald goes for 37 off 22 deliveries.
Yeah, twice he's taken out the danger man. Sam Harper, who obviously at the time I think he's a top scorer for the Stars. Maybe McDonald's just surpassed him, and now he's just taken out McDonald as well. So great bowling from him, while costly at the same time.
Again, I think in this sort of format, depending on the timing of it, you take it.
Good catch there from Callum Stowe, who's been another one who's been pretty handy with the ball as well.
He has, and he was one of the ones responsible for actually putting the pressure on. Sutherland, nice delivery. Squaring up Blackford there. Defensive shot. Out to the leg side and no run, so to follow up the first 2 deliveries, a single conceded, a wicket and a dot ball. This is more like Will Sutherland. Says an excellent start to this, his 3rd over. Breeze well and truly picking up here at DXC Arena, and he's having to run into the headwind. Ball whipped away there, backward a square. Fielder comes in off the fence, and that is Callum Stowe. They jog through for the single. As Sutherland now an opportunity to have a crack at Merlot, with Blackford getting himself off strike in his first runs for the afternoon.
Suddenly Merlot's appearing the danger man, which is far from what he's been so far in this innings. Needs to pick up his run rate, just 8 off 15.
Good delivery. Dispatched, however, through mid-on. Only the single. Good fielding coming off the fence there. Nair, I think it was. Arjun Nair there down at the long-on boundary.
Much better bowling from Sutherland here. Just the 3 runs conceded and also taking a wicket.
And going into this headwind too, Will, I'm watching him on his run-up. He looks really strong into the wind. He's a powerfully built man. Certainly delivering the ball strongly in the latter stages of this T20 match.
Yeah, standing out next to him in the middle of the bat flip. He definitely is a strong, powerful man, let me tell you that much.
Ball cracked away through cover, but again, only the single conceded. So Will Sutherland, that was an extremely good over. 4 runs only, 1 dot ball and a wicket. So at the end of the 14th over, the Stars 4 for 122. Will Sutherland now with the figures after his 3 overs of 2 for 35.
Still ahead of where the Renegades were at the same point, but remember that was in the middle of that Will Sutherland batting patch, and they did sort of pick it up. So in overs 15, 16 and 17, the Renegades got 12 each from each of those. They also got 22 runs in that 19th over. So unless the Stars can replicate that somewhere along the line, they'll just want to make sure that they're picking up a little bit more from where they are and sustaining it.
A little bit of a discussion here. Nair looking to come back into the attack, and he's just been so good for them. 2 overs, none for 10. Hasn't taken a wicket, but just his ability to clamp down on the runs has been excellent. He's got an opportunity here to attack Blackford, who's only faced the 3 balls. Nair, so right arm around. Darts that one in. Blackford cannot get that one away, or can he? Yes, he can. The fielding there at cover was unable to prevent the single. So Blackford gets himself away from Nair immediately. Straight down the ground, straight past the bowler. A powerful hit there by Merlot. Probably his best strike for the match so far. A little bit of a fumble down there, but they come back through for 2. So much more intent demonstrated there by Merlot. Moves on to 11 from his 17 deliveries.
I do like the idea of bringing Nair in right now as well. He's been the most economical of the Renegades bowlers, and they'd really just want to try and butt out as much hope as they can from the Stars batsmen.
Comes around the wicket now. Merlot cutting through point, and that's gone all the way to the boundary. So he's flicked the switch here as Merlot. Straight down the ground was a good shot. Just stepped back and gave himself a little bit of room and cut through point for a boundary. So he's keeping the scoreboard ticking along. He's doing his job. 15 now from 18 deliveries, and the Stars 4 for 130.
I think that might be his first boundary of the innings as well, Jonathan Merlot.
Has another crack. That is a superb shot straight down the ground, and he's reached the long on boundary for 4. So I tell you what, flick a switch indeed. 1, 2, 4, 4 from the first 4 balls from this Nair over, and the inexpensive Nair is now none for 21 with 2 balls to go. This game, it's fantastic, isn't it? It can change so quickly. What a shot. Oh, a little bit wide, wasn't he? It gripped in his hand, I think, and he latched onto it, did Merlot, pounded it back over the bowler's head. That one a bit more flight, takes it on the full, out through point. They whip it back in well and just keep it to a single. So Nair has 1 delivery at Merlot. Oh, sorry, I should say to Blackford, who's the batter most recently in. Can he take an opportunity here, Nair? Darts that one in, manages to squeeze it away through mid-wicket, and it'll only be the single. Good pursuit there too by Nair. Didn't want to concede very much at all, only conceded the single. So another good over, although a little bit more costly on this occasion from Nair. None for 23 off his 3. Importantly though, the Stars after 15, 4 for 136. They need 54 more runs from 30 deliveries to win this game.
Yeah, I'm sure they thought it was a good idea as well to put Nair in the bowling then, Tom, but wasn't to be in the end. Maybe that's just what's got Jonathan Merlot a little bit of spring in his step. He's seeming to find the ball. His first 2 boundaries of the innings came in succession then, and suddenly, things are looking a little bit more optimistic for the Stars.
Crone coming in now. Another opportunity for him on behalf of the Renegades here this afternoon. Comes in at an important time for his team. He's going to have to work hard like his captain did into this breeze. And that one whipped away onto the leg side, and just the single. Didn't really come off the bat, I think, as Merlot would have liked. And And Blackford with an opportunity here to face a bit of pace, I think probably for the first time in his innings so far.
Maybe 1 or 2 balls off Sutherland.
Oh, could have been 2. You're right. You're right. So Blackford now 4 from 5. Crone, that was going down leg side. He just got a little touch on that. It's going to race away all the way to the boundary. So he made the most of that. All he needed to do was get a little tickle on it. It's exactly what he did, Blackford. Races to 8 now from 6. Another very useful boundary early in the over too, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're just wanting to make sure that they break even on some of these overs, and I guess a way to do that would be getting an early boundary to make sure they're not chasing their tail later in and playing riskier shots.
That delivery crashed away through mid-wicket. Fielder off the fence quickly. Just the single to the Renegades.
54 more required from 30 overs at the start of this over now. So a little bit less than that. 48 from 27 required.
Merlot doing his job here. Again, this game is a brilliant game, isn't it? He looked to be going so slowly. He's on 25 off 22 now, and Blackford's doing his job too. Crone, that's a loose delivery, and he's pinged immediately. That's a wide. 1-4-1 wide so far.
And that's maybe where Renegades could find themselves slipping up. They need to be really tight with their bowling, not have any mental lapses and give away easy, soft runs like that. 1 wide here or there is probably not too bad. The ones they want to be avoiding are any leg byes that can spill off for a boundary, or no balls which can cost them a free hit.
So Crone needs to pick up after that one. That's a better delivery. Blackford just had a bit of a look at that too, was wondering whether the umpire was going to call it. No call on this occasion. The required run rate there just starting to tick up a little bit here on the Stars. 10.85. They're going at just over 9. In this competition, though, they're able to flick gears just so quickly. Players generally have a very good understanding of where they're placed and what's needed. A few positional changes here. Deep extra cover coming in. Crack. Straight down to that man goes Blackford. Whips it straight back in. Only the single. Well done to Crone.
Bit of a 50-50 sort of over. You'd probably take it either way, but you'd also, if you're both in the Gades and the Stars camp, be thinking, can get something more from here. Can we get a wicket? Can we get a boundary?
Long on in place, so too long off. Looking for the big hit, perhaps. Well, here it comes. Long on into play here. Oh, takes that ball beautifully. They come back for the second. The throw is a bit errant.
Good running between the wickets there from the 2 batsmen.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? They were so quick, and the call was on early too. Throw wasn't so good. Crone did really well to take that cleanly. 2 overs down for him, and 20 runs conceded. So Merlot 27 from 23, Blackford 6 from 8. So both of them doing their jobs here.
10 off the over there. And look, as we said, Stars still ahead at the moment. 4 for 146 they are. At the same stage, it was 131 runs to the Renegades, but keep in mind they had that big 22 run over in the 19th coming up. So the Stars don't necessarily need to hit those heights, but they just need to make sure they don't lapse and drop off from where they are. 10 from that last over. They probably need to get 10 from each of their next few overs, and then maybe 1 or 2 somewhere else along the way as well. Definitely an achievable target, but they just need to make sure they don't have any lapses in this heat. Maybe that wind you can possibly hear through the microphones is giving it a little bit of a cool off, but it can really have an impact on your concentration, and 1 lapse at the wrong time could prove very costly.
So spin coming back into the attack here. Wicketkeeper with the helmet on.
Stowe.
So Blackford on strike, 6 off 8. And Callum Stowe back into the action, who's none from 23 off his 3 overs. The left armour, the ball punched out through cover. In fact, it wasn't through cover. Cover was able to feel that nicely. Will Sutherland. So a good start here to Stowe with a dot ball. Again, into cover, and the captain, wonderful dive, only concedes the single. It was a great effort on the left hand. Took it cleanly, whipped it back in.
Stowe, bar 2 blemishes, has been their most economical bowler. In fact, I think even now he's surpassed Arjun there, who prior to that was as well. Just needs to keep it very, very tight here.
Run rate now at 9 for the Stars, creeping up towards 12. They need to get a bit of a look in here. Backward of point. Fielder in action again. They jog through for the single. So Callum Stowe doing the job here. Dot, single and a dot. This is a terrific start midway through this 17th over. That one there pulled away through mid-wicket. Ball coming in quickly, and again, just the single. Lemire giving his teammate out there a round of applause. That's good stuff. Will Sutherland moving himself into position so that he's in at cover. Going the reverse there is Merlot. Didn't really get much on it at all, and gains himself 1 run. So a tidy over indeed here from Stowe.
Not sure if that was necessarily the move, Dom, but it's a move he played. 1 run for it. They need to get more than 3 off overs like this.
1 more ball to come, and this is the 17th over. This has been fantastic here from Stowe. Giving himself a bit of room there was Blackford. Punches that through point out to the boundary, but again, will only gain 1 run. So Stowe, that's an excellent over. Terrific 17th over from him. Will Sutherland will be really pleased with that. He contributed with some good fielding, and the outfielding's been good too from the Renegades. So 3 overs to go. Pressure is on here now for the Stars.
And they're now travelling at, they need 40 more runs off 18 balls. 154 for 150 they currently sit at. Their target 190. Maybe they're thinking about pulling a rabbit out of a hat somewhere, Dom. It's not quite panic station yet, but they're getting pretty close. 13 required off the over from here.
And into the attack here for the Renegades is Moody. Just winding his arm up. Oh, that's a loosener and a half from Moody, and that's a wide. That's not what they needed.
Moody so far conceded 12, and he's conceded 10. Bit all over this shop today. His good's been pretty good.
This is an important moment here for Moody. The 18th over, 151, 152 on the board after 17.1 overs. He's got a job to do for his captain here. That's a better delivery. Still hung it out slightly wide. Bit of a slash there from Blackford. No contact made though, so a very important dot ball to Moody. Being very careful now with his fielding positions here as well. Good communication between he and his captain. Blackford 9 off 14. He needs to make contact with the ball. Needs to make sure that he's scoring runs and ticking this scoreboard over. Oh, he goes beautifully. That's going to clear the boundary. That's a cracking shot. Up over deep square leg. Blackford, well done. He was 9 from 14. He's now 15 off 15 with that 6. That's a beautiful shot here at DXC Arena. Not what Moody was looking for, but exactly what the Stars were looking for. Takes them to 4 for 158, midpoint of this 18th over. Need to score. They need to increase their scoring here. 32 more runs needed from 16 deliveries. So 12 and over. 2 runs of ball needed. What's Moody got? Bang, crashed away again. Cracking shot out through mid-wicket, and that's going to be 4 runs. Blackford, he's flicked his switch now too. Thumbs up to his teammate there from Merlot. 2 balls, 10 runs on the board from Blackford. Doing exactly what his side needed is Liam Blackford. Moody now. What's he got in his bag of tricks? None for 32 off 2.3. Bang, it goes again. Straight down the ground from Liam Blackford. And that is another boundary. So the last 3 balls from Moody, 6-4-4. He is under pressure, to say the least. Blackford now moving on to 23 from 17 deliveries. How things can change in this game. They change in a flash. Run rate was creeping up on the Stars, was up at 12s. They've now brought it back to 10.5. And Will Sutherland, the captain, just jogging over to his teammate, having a bit of a chat. What's his plan? What can he expect next? Any field changes needed? Up he goes. Good ball. Who's got it? Sutherland's in to take the catch, and he takes it beautifully. Well done to Moody. And his captain goes straight in and gives him the high five. Moody was under pressure, but he's taken a wicket. And Blackford, who was lashing out on 23 runs. 23 from 18. Little cameo there in that over from David Moody. But he now has to make his way back to the shed. So the Stars, they lose their 5th wicket. Well done, Liam Blackford. 23 runs from 18 deliveries, 2 4s and 1 6, and they all came in that over. And Sutherland keeping the faith there with his bowler, and then backing him up by taking a catch. He's certainly done some good things here this afternoon, Will Sutherland. He's been a bit expensive with his bowling, but he's taken 2 wickets and now contributed to a 3rd. So he's in the game, is the Renegades captain. 17.5 overs gone here. The Stars 5 for 166. 24 runs needed from 13 balls. The wind continuing to pick up here this afternoon at DXC. Moody having to put all his effort to run into that headwind and then make sure that he bowls a good delivery. Full toss. They get through for the single. Nice fielding there by Nair. And that's the end of the over for Moody. 1 for 36 he is. In fact, 1 for 37 from his 3 overs with that single to finish off with. And he's taken a very important wicket, that of Liam Blackford, the second last ball of that over. So 167 from 18 are the Stars. 2 overs to go here. What's Will Sutherland going to do? Looks like he's going to go to O'Neill, who's been superb in his play this afternoon. Been a very handy bowler for them. He's kept the runs down generally. 1 for 23 from his 3. But the same over that he took that 1 wicket in, he also managed to contribute to a run out. So 2 wickets fell in that all-important over. Mackenzie now on strike to O'Neill. He's only faced the 1 delivery. Manages to get that one away, does he? No, he doesn't. Mackenzie, the left arm spinner, caused a lot of trouble of his own to the Melbourne Renegades lineup. His job here is to get bat on ball and to get Merlot down the other end. In comes O'Neill again. Gave himself a little bit of room, did Mackenzie. Got a nick on it, got it away fine. They jog through for the single. It all adds up. So Merlot back on strike, has an opportunity against Mackenzie now. Will Sutherland ringing the changes here, trying to put as much pressure as he can on the right-handed Merlot. Backs away, looking for a wide. The umpire not going to call it. So a dot ball to Mackenzie, to O'Neill, I should say. .21 raw runs required from 10 balls. Certainly doable, but time running out here. Got that one away. Did he hit that? No, he didn't. Bat on pitch. Beautiful bowling again from O'Neill. Just hung it out a little bit wider. Could not get bat on ball. A great choice this is proving to be from Will Sutherland to bring O'Neill in again now. And Fergus is doing the job. A bouncer, can't get it away. They're going to go for the single. They are. Jog it through. Only the one run conceded there with one ball to go in this Fergus O'Neill over. So this has been a struggle for the Stars, but this has been a very good over for the Renegades. Run rate down to 9 and required run rate up at its highest that it's been so far. 15 runs required per over. O'Neill's last delivery, belted away through square. Returned back for the cost of only one run. So Fergus O'Neill, job done. 4 overs, 1 for 28 conceded. He's been excellent. And at the end of the 19th over, the Stars find themselves on 5 down for 172. In fact, there's one more ball to come because there was a wide in the first ball of this over. Gives himself a little bit of room there, does Merlot. Cracked that one away, and the fielder could not get hold of the ball. It's a boundary, and a much-needed boundary to the Stars. Luckily, there was an extra ball there for the Stars, and O'Neill, in fact, finishes on 1 for 31 from his 4, and Merlot, after an extremely slow start, moves on to 34 from 29. Stars on 175 from 19. They need 16 runs from the last over to win this game. In fact, 15 runs. Target is 190. The Renegades, of course, having scored 189. So 15 runs required from the last over. Mackenzie, the man who will be on strike. He's faced only the 3 deliveries for his 3 runs so far. Crone to bowl the last over. Good delivery first up, punched away through cover. Fielded there by Sutherland, conceding only a single. 14 runs left. Field change here. The big hitting Merlot. So Will Sutherland taking himself down towards long on. The danger zone, one might say. Moody fielding at long off. Crone running into that handy breeze here at DXC. Merlot gives himself some room. He bowls wide, and the wide is given. So one less run needed. Still 5 balls left. .13 from 5 is the calculation. 5 balls to go. What's Merlot got? He's hit 34 off 29. It's been a really well-paced innings thus far. Gives himself some room. Cracks that one away through square. Didn't get all of it. They go through for one. They're back for the second. Merlot wants to be on strike, and he gets on strike. 2 runs. Well done. Brings that tally down to 11 runs required from 4 balls. Nothing else matters here. 11 from 4 is the calculation. Merlot on 36, Mackenzie on 4. Mackenzie will be quite happy to be sitting at the non-striker's end at this stage. Merlot the one doing the damage. Swings that one away. Big hit. Out to the boundary and goes for... A boundary is the call. 4 runs is the call. So 7 runs required here from 3 balls. And Will Sutherland jogging in to have a chat with his bowler in Crone. That was a terrific strike there from Merlot. 5 for 183, the Stars. 190 the target. Merlot's moved himself onto 40 from 31. He was extremely slow early on. Couldn't quite get the connection that he was looking for. He's certainly getting the connection now, right when it's needed. Oh, he's missed that one. Good bowling from Crone. Still 7 runs required. 2 balls to come. Pressure back on. That was beautifully bowled by Crone. Pressure on both bowler and batsman here, and from the commentary position we have here, I can hear Will Sutherland saying to Crone, well done, keep going. Be very impressed with his bowler's effort there. In again. Picked that one up beautifully. Out through mid-wicket. Ball's going to come in quickly. They're back for the second. Is the run out on? Potentially, yes, he's out. Merlot was coming in for the second. The throw from the boundary was superb, and he's been run out going for the second. So the Renegades strike just when they needed to. Merlot out. He was doing some damage. He'd moved himself up to 40, trying to get back for that second run so that Mackenzie wasn't on strike. But the wicket falls. And yet again, the Renegades take one just when they needed to. Well, the pressure on here. 1 ball to come. Do a score check here and just check indeed how many balls there are to come in this over. Crone's done very well so far, but the fielding from the Renegades has been good, particularly out in the deep. One run added to the tally, of course, from that flurry of activity. Crone now. Crack down the ground. Sutherland to come in. Will take the ball. They've run the single. And that is the game. Renegades win. They've managed to pin the Stars down at the end and keep them to under 189. Well done to the Renegades. I thought the Stars were going to come through at the end and win this game, and they did not. The Renegades have done extremely well. Great pressure at the end, and that innings from Will Sutherland has proven to be a match-winning innings. 6 for 185, the Stars have finished on from the 20 overs. Mackenzie 5 from 5, and Merlot falling just at the end. Just could not get bat on ball when he needed to in the fashion that he wanted. And here we see the Stars innings. Sam Harper at the top was excellent. 34 of his 24, had a great partnership with Thomas Rogers. That run out proved to be very costly. 36 off 18 for Tom Rogers. Blake McDonald then 37 from 22 was very good. Jonathan Merlot did his job. just couldn't get bat on ball when he wanted to at the end. 41 from 33, and Liam Blackford, a little cameo where he took 14 runs in 3 balls from Moody, but in the end Moody took his wicket. Hamish McKenzie, the not-out batsman there, along with Sharma. The Renegades bowling, Fergus O'Neill was absolutely superb. So too Arjun Nair, both of them with economy rates under 8. Callum Stowe was at 7 as well. But Will Sutherland took 2 wickets, and even though his economy rate was up over 11, they were 2 extremely important wickets. And he had a number of catches in there as well. So well done to the Renegades. They managed to win this game against the Stars by 4 runs. They fell 4 runs short, the Stars, or 5 runs in fact. They needed to score 190. A terrific match here between the Stars and the Renegades. Some highlights here, Moody coming into bowl, and some big, beautiful hitting. There were some great square leg boundaries hit, some great shots through the cover by both teams. A few sixes that, yes, were up on over the roof. Some of those shots through cover there. David Moody, he conceded a few boundaries out there through the covers. 6s and 4s. And a beautiful afternoon for cricket, and both of them have turned it on here this afternoon. Liam Blackford, that shot just coming off the splice of the bat. And a very, very important catch being taken by Will Sutherland there. Another one of the crucial ones. The Stars got away to a very good start indeed. But the Renegades were just able to pull them back each time. Each time they began to get away, were able to drag them back in again. Some important bowling from Crone. That one was a wide delivery, but he bowled a very impressive last over. Just didn't allow Merlot to get the purchase on the ball that he wanted to. And this was some great fielding late in the piece, which just helped to continue putting pressure on in the latter stages of the match. Get another one there from Merlot, whipping that one out wide. Boundary scored, gave them hope in the last over. Couldn't quite get that one away as he would have liked. And pressure came from the outfield and yielded a really, really important run out.
Are you looking to hit your studies for 6? Make the move to Australia's Northern Territory and start a world-class partnership where your potential can glide through boundaries and you can rack up runs in places you've never imagined. Enjoy our laid-back lifestyle and help us build what's next. When this over is over, think about getting on a good wicket and consider studying in Australia's Northern Territory. Authorised by the Northern Territory Government, Darwin.
Visiting Darwin, Australia? Make your stay a winning one at Darwin Airport Resorts. Just minutes from the airport and a short drive to the city, it's the ideal base for travellers chasing sun, culture or the cricket. With 3 comfortable hotels, 2 inviting pools and 2 on-site dining options, everything you need is right here. Relax, recharge and enjoy the top end at Darwin Airport Resorts.
with his 39. So with that good win, time now for us to go to the presentation on behalf of the Melbourne Renegades, the victors here this afternoon.
Here with Will Sutherland, captain of the Melbourne Renegades and man of today's match. Well done, Will. You must be pretty happy with the win first up against the rivals.
Yeah, exactly. A bit of a derby for us, and obviously we know a lot of those boys training with Victoria, so there was a bit of feeling out there, and I think that's what you need. Otherwise, you know, it can turn into a bit of a practice match with how much we play against each other. So yeah, really nice to get a win, and yeah, competitive hit out for both teams.
Now, I don't want to bring you down too much at all, but it was a pretty slow start for the batting for yourself, and 17 and 14 conceded off your first two overs. You recovered, top scored with 63, and you took probably the two most important wickets of the match. How did you sort of keep you cool and stay focused out there?
I was lucky I came in pretty early. I had a bit of time, and Brownie had established a bit of a platform there, so we were sort of ahead of the rate. So I had a bit of time and knew that, you know, you can take it quite deep in T20 cricket, more time than you think. And yeah, with the ball, there are a couple of unlucky ones, a couple of mis-execution, and Harps and Tommy Rogers obviously quality players. So there was always going to be guys that were getting scored off, and just had to trust my lengths, and luckily got a couple of wickets coming back there.
Looks like you and Jai Lemire built a pretty strong partnership. What was the tactic with him out there in the middle?
I guess just run hard. It's quite a big ground, and take it deep, as I said before, and yeah, we had wickets in hand at the end that we could sort of express ourselves a bit and free the arms. So I think we did well to take it deep, run hard, keep the ball on the ground, and then we could hit a few sixes at the end.
And lastly, we touched on the weather briefly pre-game. Now that it's all said and done, how do you find the weather, and what are you going to change in the games going forward?
No, it was really nice out there. It was a bit of a breeze coming across, so it wasn't too hot. But as I said this morning, or pre-game, it's such a nice place to play cricket. The wicket was really good, and as Victorians, we're happy to be out in the heat, so it was good fun.
Well done. Congratulations on the win and man of the match.
Cheers, Will. Thank you. Thanks, mate.
That's it.
And there we have the end of this game. The Melbourne Renegades defeating the Melbourne Stars 189 to 185. Thank you so much for joining us here this afternoon at DXC Arena. We're looking forward to bringing you more cricket as this tournament goes on.